We are live. Hello. Hey, it's Ross Payton with Rolling Public Radio. We're playing Red Markets here for the RPPR Patreon. The scenario is called The Dorms. And we have a full group with us here of takers. I'm just going to say your taker group name is the One Shots because it's a very original name. Do not steal. And very inspired. You'll never believe where I got the idea for that name. But yeah, you're all, I'll say you're at Troutfit Enclave from the book. And you've all been hired by the Enclave itself to do a job. And the job is the Darlington Dormitory, which was a sort of avant-garde, well, not avant-garde, but rather massive city block sized dormitory building endowed by a billionaire, the late Darlington, Stephen Darlington. He, right before the crash, it was finished. It could house over 5,000 students, mostly in windowless rooms. During the crash, it was written off as hopelessly infested, but that's changed apparently. Your enclave has received communications. The Troutfit has received communications from Darlington Dormitory, in claiming that a group has cleared it out and converted it into an enclave. You've all been hired to visit the dorm and assess their claims. So, basically, you need to go there and you have to. It's basically your judgment. The Troutfit trusts you enough for you to give a report on the who lives there, how many people live there. Are they potential allies or potential enemies? Can we trade with them? Is it safe? Is it secure? Is it going to fall again? So they want to know what happened, how this massive building was turned into an enclave. When early reports, early reports like 5 years ago, stated that it was, just overrun, completely infested, with thousands of casualties. But no one could tell for certain because most of them, a lot of windowless rooms in that building. And so nobody knew, nobody's going to go into a massive dark maze of dorm rooms. That is the setup, but let's introduce our takers first. We have, first off, I'll just Twibbit is playing Big Fish. Please tell us about Big Fish.
Big Fish is the living example of why that Homo Secor was established, as he's an idiot that made it across during the crash, and then realized his brother was a state away and was not going over, and came back for him.
Aw.
Unfortunately, he didn't exactly get out, so now they're both there.
Okay, is that his dependent?
Yes, it's his brother,
Yes.
which
Okay.
is why I have the weak spot. Sorry, I have a weak spot. I'm not invincible with parentheses, so he'll occasionally act stronger than he should. But my soft spot's
okay.
worm on a hook because technically I'm bait, but the whole dependence of electronics communication doesn't make sense for my story, so I've just kind of borrowed a David. They're
All right.
in tough spot fenceman.
Cool. So yeah, you're a fence fan. So hopefully, we'll see how many casualties that you'll encounter in this scenario. Next up, we have Star Asp, who is playing Mouse. Please tell us about Mouse.
Mouse has been in the waste for a while. It hasn't been going so well. Used to rely on her sister because, well, she seemed capable enough to do it, but she can't go out anymore. So now I have to do it.
Okay.
Weak spot is that she overthinks a little too much sometimes. You got to make sure that you can't make the situation worse. That could always happen. The soft spot is that she has to believe that she can fix things. If you lose hope that you can fix the situation, you become like poor Tabby, who faints in terror at the sight of the gate. So,
All right.
and her tough spot is Roach.
Okay. And what kind of skills does Mouse bring to the table?
She's more of a burglar type, very
Okay.
sneaky, a little bit of persuasion,
All right.
gun.
Gun's very useful in this game. Sometimes for negotiating. So, next up we have Friedrich, who is playing Comrade Theta. Please tell us about our good comrade.
Comrade Theta is a black meth cultist. Well, actually, let's start at the beginning. He used to be in organized crime. He went to jail a lot, did a lot of meth. He's not a nice person.
Mm-hmm.
Once the crash came, he saw the light, joined the black math. He could actually do some good. Also discovered Marxism at the same time, which is an interesting mix. I threw a picture of him into the game chat on the Discord. He's basically got all the tats, and now he's just started covering them in more black lines. He's not
Nice.
a friendly-looking fella.
No, he is not. He is definitely a bad-looking dude. Cool. So next up we have Don Piano, who is playing Rubber. Please tell us about Rubber.
Well, Rubber is at this point, very much former theater camp counselor, and during the crash was actually running a camp, or was part of the people running camp, in part because it was at least a little bit of income during times where every bit counted, and because you could sublet your place. And when things got worse, the camp people all just kind of decided to stay for various reasons, among them the non-functioning infrastructure for getting home. And when they couldn't stay anymore, they leadership kind of shifted within this group until shifts, meaning people dying, meant that eventually Rubber had to take on that role. Rubber regrets this taking him a little bit, having to constantly explain that it's in contrast with glue and has nothing to do with either cars, which are sensible, nor with safe sex. And Rubber also kept this camp counselor thing kind of going, kind of using that as a lens to deal with the world as it is, meaning that the soft spot is that everyone could be a camp kid. That is, you need to bring out the best in them. But also, the weak spot is everyone is like a camp kid, meaning you have to, or well, at least Rubber thinks so, have to treat them kind of like a camp kid, which some people don't quite like. And yeah, it's basically a negotiator for whoever.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's hope this turns out well. Sounds like a lot of people are depending on Rubber. So.
Oh yeah, the people who depend on Rubber are Helen, the ex-theater director, Frank, former camp kid, and Truman, a late colleague's husband, to whom Rubber swore, "I will take care of him," and then things happened.
Things do tend to happen in this game. Weird. You were playing Fix. Please tell us about Fix.
Yeah, okay. So Fix is he's a scavenger. He lives to scavenge and scavenges to live. It just seems normal to him. His weak spot is waste not, want not, and his soft spot is protect the innocent. And yeah, and he's got a bow, and he really loves to scavenge. Like he's going to be trying to scavenge a lot, and he's always looking for something. Like right now, even though he's totally ready to start this quest and everything, or whatever you want to call it. He's looking for a club or a knife or something. So he's going to be trying to scavenge that on the way.
Okay. Cool. Let's see. So I got a sense he likes to scavenge.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we don't need to bother with negotiations because this is a one shot, but you can do some stuff before you leave. I will say everyone gets one action they can take before one skill check, essentially, to either figure out what they want to. I will say, actually, you can spend an action just to raise some money. Basically get a loan, or I'm sort of abstracting it. You can just basically, if you make a successful skill check, explain how you're getting some money, like some payment in advance, like a persuade check to get some payment in advance, or something like that. You can get some additional funding right now And if you want to, you can take a second skill check, but if you do that, you'll have to take a self-control check because you're spending time away from your dependents, and you're just working yourself to the bone. And that'll be for detachment, if you want to do your second action. So I will start, I guess, going back from the top. Big Fish, what do you want? What do you want to do before you head out to check out the Darlington Dormitory? It is 2 legs away. I will tell you that. And your job is to assess the claims that you have received over Ubik that it is now a new enclave ready to do business.
I don't suppose I could use networking to find somebody who pre-crash had lived there and left. Obviously the people. Okay.
Yeah, you definitely can do that. So yeah, go and give me a networking check, and that will be. You don't need a device for that since you're in your enclave. You can just do that. So just roll 2d10 in the dice rolling channel, and your first one is the black, and the second one is red. So that is quite a success.
Yes.
So you find Clarissa. She knows it all about the dorm. And Clarissa lives in Troutfit, and is you buy her a beer, and she's willing to spill the beans on the storm. So what do you want to know?
I want to know what was the plan, because everything I vaguely heard from this in the news, like what did you guys do for emergency exits and leaving, so that in the event of a fire, not literally everyone freaking died.
There were stairwells in each. The building was divided into 4 quadrants, and there were firewalls between each quadrant to minimize fire. There's also stairwells. Now there were 4. There were only 2 exits leading outside, but they were very large. And well, no, actually there was a. There's actually 8 exits, 2 main ones, and there's 6 stairwells. So I'll just go ahead and post this very original floor plan for a building that so basically houses 2 and 4 were one house, 1 and 3, 6 and 8, and then 5 and 7. So those are, just treat each one of those as one quadrant. What else you want to know?
That was the main one, because I was trying to figure out how they can control, the enter and exit thing for, dealing with casualties. Just basically, I'm trying to see how rational it is to actually have this thing be an enclave. So,
well, the as a fenceman, you know that the fact it's very hard to get in, but if you can totally clear it out, it would be very secure. This building was built just before it had only been operating for like 6 months. I mean, school was in session when the crash hit, so it was jammed to capacity. But if you could clear it out, like thick walls, new building, it would be in better condition. And also the fact that you board up the outer windows, then you have a lot more. You secure the outer windows, then the building is basically a fortress. Like you can bottleneck any size horde. This is in the Midwest. It had to be built to be tornado proof, or tornado resistant. So no horde is going to punch through the outer walls, without outside assistance, like someone some meat cultist using explosives or whatever. So it's very hard to crack, but once you crack it, then you have like this fucking fortress that you could house a lot of people in there. And if you can get the infrastructure working, the water and the power working, then you can be it's a very dense population, and it could support a huge number of people if you can get the basic infrastructure and security intact. The HVAC, you definitely need the HVAC, the water, all that shit to work to house that many people. But that's if they're at capacity. I mean, you could put 2,000 people in there and be pretty spacious. So per person, like each person could have 2 rooms, or knock some inner walls out, stuff like that.
Wow.
So yeah, very good if you can secure it. But securing it would be the hard part, because again, the architecture is like a massive building with mouse holes in and out. So like it's harder. You'd have to go in and systematically clear them out, and that would be really labor intensive. Not just killing them, but also taking their bodies out. There must be a massive pit nearby that they threw all the bodies in. They probably had to have a large number of latents do that, or immunes. Probably latents though, because immunes wouldn't want to do that kind of work to reveal their, because that's kind of a risk to their own safety.
Can I ask a quick question for clarification?
Sure.
So we know there's an enclave, or it's a rumor? Because
you've received multiple messages from the Darlington Enclave, as they are calling themselves. They've said that they've cleared it out. There have been, you've heard rumors, nothing concrete, but it seems like people are going in and out of this building. So yeah, it's enough that the Enclave is willing to pay for all of you to go out and assess the claims. They're taking it seriously. Now they may know more than they're giving you. So you can take your actions trying to find out what else is publicly known, or what is known about this, or what you can find out about it.
Gotcha. It just sounded like. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I've got nothing else I could ask Clarissa that I can think of. Anything else I want to do to follow us up would be research, which I don't have. So
Okay.
I'm doing
that's
dependent time while other people work.
Yeah. Mouse, what do you want to do? You could also look up their legs. You could try and get some money. You could do any number of things. Mouse, are you there? Star.
Sorry, I think my mic was off. Can I use foresight to figure out the legs?
Sure.
Okay. This is +2.
Yeah. I just copy the little,
I made
it's
it.
exclamation. No, well, it's exclamation.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. I used
We
this thing
changed
myself.
it.
You think I'd know by now? Okay, yeah, I made it.
Also a success. Do you want to focus on one leg, or do you want to have like a broad sense of what both legs are going to be like?
Give me the broad sense.
You do hear reports of people coming and going. It's like they are beginning to have trade, or groups going out to scavenge or gather supplies, which if there is an enclave, they would definitely have, they can't just sit in the building all day. They need to go out in the world. So you're guessing you're going to be encountering residents traveling to or from the enclave.
Okay, that's good. We can introduce ourselves then.
Yeah. So you're heading straight toward them. So you're given the size of this place and the number of people that had to been involved in securing the building, you're undoubtedly going to meet some traffic. Yeah. Cool. Comrade Theta.
I want to know what scams the people who run it have run before. I want to know if they're up
Well, you
and
don't
honest
know.
people, or
You
no.
don't
But
know.
well, I want to get
Okay.
the reputation of then. I guess the enclave. Like,
Yeah.
are they
You can do that.
so networking or sensitivity or foresight? Well, it doesn't matter. It's all the same.
Okay, well, networking. That would be like, asking people what they've heard about the enclave and what kind of people.
Nope.
All right.
Let's go to the market.
You're getting conflicting reports. People, there's not really a clear picture of this, and which is weird. Usually, enclaves develop a pretty strong identity pretty quickly because, in order to survive, you have to have a really strong group solidarity. But the fact that you're getting contradicting reports about the identity of these people means that, people can't. Yeah, it's weird. So this is whoever these people are, something unusual is going on. So that you'll get for free. I mean, that info. So
Fair enough. I pack more bullets.
Okay. Rubber. What do you want to?
I actually have possibly two things that I would like to find out, but maybe the first one will be enough. I would like to try to figure out, basically by researching stuff about this area. What would be economically worthwhile in that area, and also what would be lacking? I mean, every area has some sort of, I don't know, fertile soil or lack thereof. So what do
Sure.
they have and what do they not have?
Okay.
Based on,
Yeah.
And,
Imports,
I would
exports. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing, I will just say, the other thing would be that I would try to figure out what smugglers because there's drone smugglers and whatnot, I'm assuming. What do they buy that they obviously need? And
Okay.
but I will start by researching.
All right. All right. There you go. All right. So that area, the Midwestern University, has been pretty heavily looted, but you do know they had a really good chemical engineering lab there, with equipment and resources and supplies. So they also, however, over the last year or two, you've sort of been avoiding that area because there were a lot of bandits raiding that area, or operating out of that area to raid adjacent regions. So those are, so they're probably, whatever this enclave is, they're probably using those chemicals or those resources of the chemical lab. But it's kind of hard to know what else they would. Oh yeah, they also did have like an ag department, agricultural science department, so they probably have access to like greenhouses and indoor, experimental food growing,
like hydroponic systems.
Hydroponics. Yeah. So a lot of resources, but it's been like the bandits. You don't know much about them, but they're pretty primitive from what you've heard. You don't know their name. Bandit groups tend not to reveal there's famous bandit groups and there's long running bandit groups. Bandit groups that get names tend to get hunted down. So this group was pretty discreet. But
chem lab. I wonder if they gas the casualties or something.
That would be news that gas would work on them outside of things that would just cause gross physical damage. Yeah.
Yeah, just something that like melts their flesh or something.
Yeah, but that would probably leave the building unlivable.
Yeah, probably. It'd be really hard to clean up.
Mm-hmm. So, so in terms of imports, exports, they're probably, involve the chemical and they would probably need more, if they're manufacturing chemicals, they're going to need more. And they would probably
basically they need raw material rather than the stuff they can turn it into. Okay. Yeah.
So, if you can find out the identity of the group, whoever's controlling it, you have a better sense. They'd also probably need more labor too. They probably have capacity. The building's probably not full at this point. So they probably have space to share and food to share. So they just need more workers to help, repair the building, repair the infrastructure, secure things. And, that's another export in a sense. They hey, you need an enclave to live in? Come here. We've got room. Trust us. We've got room.
Then before I stress myself out, I will let Fix do whatever.
Okay, Fix, what do you want to figure out?
Okay, this may be overlapping the same kind of thing that Rubber was doing, but so it's a building, but the building isn't just standing in the middle of nowhere. It's like it's part of a campus. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, it's at the edge of the university, like it's on the outskirts of it. So, but it's adjacent to it. Yeah.
Just wow. But I mean, okay, so that seems amazing. So I guess my main thing I would like to do is a research check, if that's the appropriate skill, to see, over the past lost number of years, like what's that? I get that we don't have much information on that building. I understand that, but like, zoom out as far as you have to get a sense for what kinds of crowds of what different groups or factions or whatever have been reported to be operating in that area. Is there anything clear on that? Like is there a lot of black math cultists there, for example? Is there a lot of I don't know archivists?
Well, you've heard of one group, or you could look like there are bandits that were operating in that area. You could try and find out their identity, or you could just do a more broad survey and see what other groups were acting in general. So, do you want that broad survey, or do you want to focus on the bandits?
I guess the bandits, but I do want to know. I want to know about them, but the most key thing I want to know about them is like their movement patterns or whatever. Like when did they get there or something? So
well, I mean, like you don't even know the name of the group. Like you just know that they are bandits. So like you could find out that.
So there may not even be. It might be like different groups of it. So yeah, I'll research on the bandits. I guess.
Okay. All right. Extra D.
Extra D.
Yeah, you put it's just exclamation point 2D10, not exclamation point D2D10. Yeah.
Silly me.
Nonetheless, Dicebot can do exploding rolls.
That's better. Except I totally lost, but it's better. I guess.
Yeah, you are unable to pin down their identity. Yep.
But what if I spend a will point on it?
I mean, do you want to do that?
Yeah, sure. I was Rich Farron.
Sure. Spin that will. Is so it begins.
Never gonna need it later. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine.
It's okay. I can fix it.
Yeah. The bandits operating in the area are actually the McPhersons. Which was a large, well-to-do family with many cousins and in-laws, and they've married out. So yeah, basically it's a family affair, and they sort of took over the university recently. They've although in the last couple of months, all reports of people being hit in that area have stopped. It seems they stopped raiding. At least for the last 3 months, and the patriarch of the family is Grandpappy, and Grandpappy rules with an iron fist. It is very, very traditional, very Midwestern. Only they're ruthless killers who don't leave witnesses if they can help it. So they're very polite. But they have they're utter sociopaths. They have no compunction about killing people. Even women and children. But they
is there any
the family, and then there's everyone else. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any guesses as to their numbers?
Yeah, probably somewhere between no more than 80 altogether. But that's the entire family in terms of combatants. Maybe half that, so maybe 40. But skilled raiders who are really good at setting up ambushes. They were smart, and they never hit anything too large. But yeah, caravans now have to be pretty large, tend to be very large and overwhelming to dissuade them. So in the last year, their raids have been more sporadic because they don't like to hit overwhelming groups, and they also don't like being disparaged in public. They like to pretend that they're legitimate business traders and merchants, but it's sort of an open secret that they're ruthless raiders, and they're definitely not allowed in any polite enclave. Like they're shoot on sight, trout fit. But if you go in their territory and talk shit to them, they'll bury you.
Right.
So yeah, Midwestern crime family is the best way to think about it. Yeah.
And I guess the difference again between a taker and a bandit is a bandit doesn't really care about contracts. They just murder you and take your stuff.
Bandits don't basically only target other people. They don't do work. They just steal and kill. They also don't work well in enclaves because why work when you can just take it from someone else? They're
right.
Yeah, they.
Well, a lot of these jobs I don't usually set out to steal, but it usually seems someone else has already made a claim to it by the time we get there. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Also, bandits tend to avoid casualties rather than fight them because there's no money in it. So, whereas takers love killing casualties because that's good work.
Honest work.
Yeah, good, honest work. So does anybody else want to do anything, or you want to head out to the Darlington Enclave?
So I currently don't really have a concrete idea of what we would possibly want to find out, but if someone has a suggestion, I'm willing to stress myself out for it.
If you have foresight, you could just make a foresight check to get an idea.
You could try to buy us flashlights. Get someone to give us some. I don't think we have any.
I think we have one at
Well,
least.
Oh, maybe.
Does any of us even have any U material? I mean, like a U spec or anything?
I've got
yeah.
a flashlight, but it's attached to the rifle.
Okay, then.
I got.
I have a
specs.
U-book.
Oh, that's good. I think I will take that foresight roll. If you actually, I don't have foresight. Never mind.
I'll take the stress. I have a foresight of 2.
Well, no, that's just to give him an idea of what to research. So the foresight check
never mind.
is just no. You can do it. It won't take any stress because you're just like, hey, why don't you look into this?
All right.
Yeah.
First one's black.
Yep.
Well, that didn't work.
All right. Yeah, I don't know.
I also have foresight. I'd be
Someone
happy
else
to
can
roll.
roll. I'll try.
No, one and done.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, okay.
I thought so.
That's right, I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so you guys head out. Everyone mark off a ration. This is spring. Well, sorry, did I interrupt anybody?
No.
I was going to say this will be fine.
It'll be fine. Exactly. You just have to go there and like look at it and come back and tell them what you thought. How easy is that?
Cakewalk.
It is definitely going to be a cakewalk. A milk run, as they say.
Right,
So
specs have image capabilities, right?
yeah.
Okay, good.
So the well, they don't want you to report over Ubik because that's insecure. Like you have to get back to the Enclave to get paid to deliver your report in person.
Hi guys, we live here now. Send us money.
Yeah. So the you all head out. You all mark off a ration. It's spring. It's actually nice weather. It's been like that for a little while now. Spring is soon going to end, and it's in a couple of weeks. It's going to be summer and unbearably hot. But for now, it's one of the rare nice weather days. So are you all traveling together, or is someone taking point?
I think we should work as a group. We'll stay close, stay together. We may run into people from Darlington. I think until we know more about them, they obviously aren't killing people who show up there. So we should not look like we're casing the place.
Well, apparently we might
Makes
also
sense.
run into
They
people-
have invited you there. They have invited people there. They've invited
Okay.
send
Yeah.
out envoys from other enclaves so they can establish relations. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
If they invited us there, we should just go. Like I don't
All right.
really see a need to scout ahead if we're going to run
Okay.
into people from there.
Everyone
I-
can. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's just it's 2 legs from here to there. There's who knows what's happening in the. Well, someone reached the 2 legs, right?
I did, yeah, and it sounded like we were probably going to run into people from around the enclave.
Oh, okay.
So I don't.
Right.
My concern is freaking them out and having a misunderstanding.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone can give me an awareness check.
I make it?
Okay.
I make it.
Okay. So those of you who make it,
That's for
Oh.
other people.
Someone had a crit fail in there.
That was Frederick.
That's mine or Don. I don't know. Probably mine.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
one of us
I-
failed and the other, yeah.
I can't really. Think
Luckily, we have enough
about-
successes.
Friedrich wanders off a little bit by himself, so he's going to be last to respond to this scene. So that's the crit failure.
Right.
So the
The guy with the big gun is gone.
yeah, just actually, yeah, Friedrich, give me a self control check. You actually you're looking around, you kind of daydreaming, and then you stumble and fall on like a skeletal remains, and you panic a bit because you're like, oh god, you just totally checked out. You felt you weren't alert, you weren't aware, you're totally unprofessional. So yeah, that'll be
I'm completely failed
Yeah.
that. Like, it's,
Yep.
Bad. How bad?
You take 1. It's not the worst. It's 1 in stress. You just oh shit. You need to get your head in the game. So those of you who make it though, you can see some bushes rustling nearby, and you can kind of in a nearby wooded area. You're sort of along like a tall grass, overgrown grassy field. But there's some trees on both sides of you, and on the right side there's something rustling. Those of you who make it realize there's some people there who are kind of watching you. So you don't think it's very many people. It's certainly smaller than your group. So and they if they could have, if they wanted to attack you, they would have done so already. You're sort of like, so they're hiding from you, you're guessing, but you notice them. Those of you make your awareness checks. What do you want to do?
Just wave.
Okay. In that case,
hands away from weapons, trying not to look threatening.
Okay.
With
3
sensitivity?
people.
Sorry.
The 3 people. 3 people come out. 2 of them have rifles. The other one has a very large backpack, like a hiker's backpack that is packed to the brim. And they're like, "Oh, hey, I guess you're from Troutfit, right?" The one with the backpack is talking. The backpacker is like, are you guys from Troutfit?
Yeah, we're on our way to Darlington. How about you? Or
Yeah, we're just sort of an independent trader. I was heading to Troutfit to peddle some scavenged stuff. Yeah. So everyone with sensitivity can make a check, or criminality.
I made it on sensitivity.
I'll do criminality. I got 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I make criminality.
Okay. Criminality. Oh, you see some tattoos on the 2 guys with rifles are not talking, and they have tattoos, and you recognize some of the tattoos as being from the Montague cartel. The Montague cartel is a drug running. They are an operation that they've been running on multiple different enclaves. But they make drugs and sell them. Mostly meth and fentanyl derivatives. And so with your criminality check, you realize, oh, that's a drug mule. That they're going to set up shop in Troutfit. And they are definitely. And those of you with sensitivity, you realize these guys are coming. They were basically heading directly from Darlington. They're not traders. They were, or yeah. So, yeah.
Out of character, they might have information on Darlington, though.
Sure, you can ask them. But those of you, yeah, if anybody wants some will points and want to do something stupid, these guys are going to start dealing hard drugs in your community. Yeah, you may have opinions on that if you have an appropriate weak spot or tough spot. But of course, the Montague cartel is not. They're pretty nasty people.
I have no idea. I didn't recognize them, so
Okay.
I'm just gonna ask them. So what you got for sale? We're going to Darlington, and or are you coming from Darlington?
Oh yeah, we visited Darlington not too long ago. Good people. They mostly it's just like bits and bobs, like for scavenged parts for computers and machines and stuff like that. And I no offense, I don't want to really set up shop, dig everything out. It takes a while to unpack and set things up, and we're not exactly
totally
in a
fair,
safe
don't worry.
spot.
Not
Oh,
really.
it's a road from Darlington.
So yeah, when you come back to Troutfit, I mean, yeah, I'm sure you can come by. I'll have a stall set up or something. Sorry, what'd you say, Fix? Or did you? Okay.
With all that stuff in your backpack there?
Yeah. I don't want to set up shop right now. We kind of just I want to get to Troutfit before it gets dark.
Yeah.
So,
Understandable.
Yeah. So yeah, Darlington's, yeah, they're great people. They're new. Got a lot of it's actually pretty diverse there. A lot of interesting folks there.
How many people are there?
Well, I don't know. I mean, over 1,000. I can tell you that much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do they have some casualty issues?
I mean, not when I was there. I mean, they're brand new. There is a big ass. I'd avoid hitting it from the south side because that's where they have this big pit. They still haven't fully covered it up, but that's where they dumped all the casualties that were in the building.
But that's just nasty, not dangerous.
Yeah, no, it just really fucking smells and it's fucking gross to look at. So yeah. Tip: don't come around. Don't go around the south side entrance. Go to the north side.
Good to know.
It
Thanks.
really is just, it really is just a perfectly okay, awesome enclave.
I mean, I didn't like. I mean, I'm a trader. I go around to different places to trade. Like they did business with me, and I did business with them. What do you want? What else do you want me to say?
Russ, can I roll sensitivity on that specific part? Like, the whole I did business with them and stuff.
Sure.
8/3.
Yeah, this guy's shifty.
Yeah,
clearly.
I'm trying to figure out specifically if he's lying about. I already know he's lying about what he's doing, but I'm trying to figure if he's lying about the other stuff too.
Okay.
I wonder if he's lying about 1,000. That's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people.
Of course, it might not really be an enclave. What if there's 1,000 people there and it's, I don't know, I can't think what it is, but what is some really fucked up thing,
Mm-hmm.
They're fucking gangly, I don't know.
He's probably not lying that there are people. He is definitely not lying that there are, that it is not, it is definitely an enclave. Like there are definitely people there. You may be exaggerating the numbers and their opinions, but they're like, he is like, not like sweating that part. Fix. Yeah.
That's fine. We get there. Figure it out. Come back. We get paid. Easy.
Yeah.
Milk run.
I would just like to ask if he knows there's anything to watch out for on the road from there, since he's coming from there and we're going to there.
No, there's been a lot of traffic lately. People, it's pretty clear actually. They're trying to, yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. As long as you stay out, you don't come during the night. I don't think they have night guards set up that get a little have itchy trigger fingers when people approach at night.
Well, doesn't everyone?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. If there's anything else, we're burning daylight, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
fair.
We can move on then. Yeah.
All right. So yeah,
I wish
you let the drug
realize this.
Yeah, you let the drug dealers into your
I'm going to tell everyone as soon as they're
Yeah. Okay. As soon as they're out of earshot. By the way, those guys are not good. Yeah.
Seriously, drug dealers? Oh man, I'm not hitting the game anymore. Wait. Can someone lend me the Ubix Pix? I need to call a friend.
I guess that explains what they're using all of the chemical labs for.
Yeah.
Oh, we should have stopped them.
I say we just call the guards in Trotfit, and when they come up, just have like them, make enough noise when they show up and don't open the gate.
Guys, okay, so I'm not a master battle strategist, but I figured that it wouldn't be a great idea to confront them when they're staring at us. On the other hand, if we want to, if the group decides that we could try to sneak up behind them.
No.
I think it'd be cheaper for everyone involved if we just tell Troutfit to not let them in.
Just call back home, let them know to search them at the gate, and that way they'll just have the drugs found.
Should I just make the call?
That way they'll just have a vendetta against us later.
Why would they have a vendetta against us? How would they know that we?
They're gonna figure it out. Unless they run across like 5 other groups.
They're gonna figure out that the guards found their drugs when they searched them at the gate.
That they got narked on.
Wait! It doesn't even need to be that bad. What we do, we call Bob. Bob's the head fenceman, friend of mine. We go back. I used to sell him meth. So he just when they show up, just have the glade closed. Just like lob a grenade at them or something. Like it'll be a big bag. They'll all be wounded, and the casualties come and eat them. It's not complicated.
At this point, I think it's safer to just let them sell the meth if we're going this far.
God.
So here's what you know.
I'm regretting coming out here now.
So, just so you all know, trout drugs are actually legal as long as they don't cause problems. So basically, if you can't handle your shit, so your enclave leaders are not going to be cool with the cartel just setting up shop and selling whatever under the table. Now they would want actually some fentanyl because it's a painkiller, and painkillers are useful in medicine, and meth for fencemen, but only in small amounts and only like under the supervision of like the enclave's doctors and shit like that. Which is what Montague just wants to sell really cheap drugs to everyone to hook them and like make customers. So like basically like the leaders of your enclave want to regulate it, and the cartel wants to do it all under the table.
So a heads up would
it-
probably help them.
maybe we just
hold
tell,
on.
tell
Well,
the, maybe
hold on.
maybe we just tell the leaders and let them sort it out.
Well, hold on. The fenceman and like Comrade Theta both know that you could actually call the fenceman directly, and if you make a successful like persuade check, you could get them to spike the reception, which is basically, oops, someone shot a gun accidentally. Someone made a loud noise. That's weird. Oh, I guess they got chased off. Guess we can't.
Better
let them
close the
in.
gate.
Yeah, better close the gate.
I can't make that call.
Hold on. That's one scenario. The second scenario is if they lie about what they're bringing into the community. That's a big no-no. So if they say they're bringing in repair parts, but they're really selling drugs, they could get kicked out for that. And that's if like, oh, go search these people really thoroughly. You'll find a whole bunch of really shit, and that'll shit can them. And the third one is to tell the leaders directly and let the leaders negotiate with the cartel, which the cartel will probably, you're not 100% sure how the cartel will like it, but they're not going to like, the worst case scenario, they'll be pissed at you, but they're not going to want to kill you for it. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, some business is better than no business. So,
but this is something all five of you know. Those are the three
Okay.
likely outcomes if you tell.
Well, I
defense-
think tell the leaders has the most amount of win-win. We win a little bit.
Yeah.
The enclave wins, and the drug dealers sort of win.
Okay, Robert, what do you want to say?
I was just agreeing. I agree
Okay.
that if they, I mean, it's useful to have these things.
Mhm.
We just don't want them to be running wild. So
Okay, so you
Sure.
want to tell the leaders?
yeah,
Okay.
course they are.
I think we
Absolutely.
should. I think we should not have them thrown out, but I think we should maybe look into Darlington before we try to make a decision on this. You-
Well,
They-
given
they-
what you
They'll
there
be
may be
there
a
faster
drug.
than
The
we are.
whole the enclave may be just manufacturing drugs. They have a chemical lab over in the university. That may be how they got their supply.
yeah.
Okay, but it would still be something that we would
Oh,
want the
God.
leaders
What
to
if it's a
be able
Randian?
to.
Okay.
We would still want the leaders to be able to weigh that sort of decision, because if they are like, if Darlington is just an enclave of that cartel, well, that's kind of something that is a little above our pay grade to negotiate.
So Rubber, you can call them up, your leaders up. If you make a successful persuade check, they'll look favorably on your report, and you'll have a rep spot to use. If you fail, they'll be like, "Thank you," and they'll still deal with them, but they'll not be very impressed with your performance. So or with they'll oh, these guys they're just brown nosing at this point, you know. So so if you want to make that persuade check.
Yeah, I will dial in with the.
Oh yeah, and spend a
that
charge.
we- Yeah.
Yep.
And guys, I should maybe just copy paste that to use. That's looking good.
All right.
Yeah,
So
call up, make my waiting in the key phase.
Whose Ubix is that? Is that mine or somebody else's?
Mine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
so Darlene, one of the Enclave counselors, well, bless your heart. Thank you so much for letting us know. We do need some better painkillers, and certainly having an emergency supply of stimulants, shall we say, will definitely improve us, but obviously we don't want them running rampant selling to children or anything. I'm
Yeah,
sure
exactly. That would be bad.
I'm sure they won't like it, but we'll definitely know that they'll still take our money. I'll tell you that much. So thank you. Yeah, you're really looking out for us. Thank you so much, Robert.
Oh, it's a team effort.
Okay. So yeah, you move on. Leg 2, everyone mark off a ration as you continue marching. The area is suspiciously clear of casualties. That's something all of you noted. You've not actually seen any active casualties all day, which which has happened before, but it's very rare.
So
So
it's the bounty on them being a bunch of shepherds, and they have locked casualties in every one of those damn rooms.
you
That
can't
sounds
rule that
doubtful.
out. That you can't
They have
rule
a
it
giant.
out.
If they have a giant body pit, they're probably not shepherds.
Well, I mean, you haven't seen the body pit. You only have the reports from the.
I guess
I
I
don't
could
know.
have been
Doesn't
lying,
sound
but
good.
whatever.
But shepherds wouldn't be working with drug dealers. That doesn't. Yeah. So everyone can give me another
Maybe
awareness check.
Crusaders.
Yeah. Yeah, the Crusaders could be making holding cells out of the dorm rooms.
Wow, I've really,
They also really like meth. I did
I'm
not
doing
make
well.
awareness.
I succeeded. Dicebot likes me right now, which means if, according to your last postmortem, he's going to kill me later.
Yeah. All right. Looks like some of you made your awareness checks.
And one crit fail.
Okay.
Did you crit fail again?
No, that's twit.
Who crit
was it?
failed? Oh, it was
Twitbit.
Friedrich.
What?
That was
No, I
Twitbit
didn't.
this time.
I
Was it
rolled,
me?
and then Don rolled, so I got the 10
my
over
screen
6.
Yeah, it's below you,
Uh,
Friedrich. So you crit failed.
I'm seeing it differently, but alright, crit failed
Okay.
fine. I'm really like.
Okay.
You had a whole pack of math. It's been a while since I had math, man. I'm thinking about going back. I actually started walking back for a bit. And then,
Yeah, give me self-control check. Yeah, you're also like so freaked out by the lack of casualties as a black math cultist. But you're
Yeah.
fine. You get
It's
over
fine.
it. Yeah. But yeah, those of you make your awareness checks. Do you hear the sounds of combat coming from like a street over? You're like in a suburban area. You're in the middle of the street, but like in someone's backyard, you can hear like the sounds of people hacking up casualties. That's a sound you've heard many a time before. Melee only. Big meaty weapons carving into in blighted flesh.
I send one of my. I'd like to send a dog to go check.
Does your dog have like a Ubik camera on it or whatever?
Yeah, you got
Okay.
Hardy, Harness, Instinct, which Patrol Vest.
Okay.
Send
Do you have to? Is the dog trained enough that you don't have to make a check?
Stilgar is.
Okay.
Well, I guess. Well, I don't know what it says. You never have to make a check, but can act autonomously, basically.
Okay, if you can act autonomously, you don't have to. Just spend a charge on your dog,
Right.
And yeah, the dog goes up, and there's a wooden privacy fence in the backyard, but you see the tips of like machetes and sledgehammers. Occasionally, people are just whacking, and you can hear casualties. People are clearing out a house. And are using the backyard to fight at him, but the dog can't see through the wooden privacy fence.
How many legs away are we?
This is the next leg will be you'll reach the enclave, so you're pretty close. So yeah, there's just some people you can't see with the dog.
Does it sound like they're winning or losing?
Doesn't
Winning.
matter. I'm a black math cultist. I'm running for it. I want a will point.
Okay,
And
yeah,
I think
all
that's a
right,
tough one.
all right.
Unsling the weaponized tool and follow.
Yeah.
Okay. So Comrade Theta is first. Yeah, you get your will point. Give me athletics check to as you jump over the fence. You're right in the path of
just
casualty.
bolting the fence.
Yeah. So yeah, you're
fine.
immediately in one range. All right. So you make that. Yeah, go and make your melee attack roll then.
I'm gonna shoot one.
All right, then shoot him. Is it a silenced weapon?
Yep.
Okay.
Silence rifle and a hit.
All right, you take the casualty down. There's only 2 left. You actually instantly recognize that 3 other latent black math cultists. They were clearing this house. They look at you, they see you, and they go, "All right, there's 2 left." So was anyone else charging in after Comrade Theta?
I think
I
I
would
said
do
I'm
it a little
following.
less.
I'm going over
enthusiastically,
there.
Rich.
I'm not charging.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there a
Yeah,
door?
he charged. We
I'm
walked.
looking around, very paranoid at all of the other houses.
Okay, so sorry, Big Fish, were you charging?
Yes.
Okay, so you charge. Are you jumping over the fence as well?
If it has a gate, I'd rather go do that.
The gate is locked. I mean,
Okay,
it'll
so
take...
jumping over, I will.
All right, you jump over the fence. You're in melee range. You get to. You should probably want to stat. What are you using to kill the zombie?
My weaponized tool, I have sling on it so that I don't have cumbersome on it.
Okay.
So
Go
that's
and
just melee.
make your attack run. Definitely declare how many rations you're burning before you use it.
I'll do 2,
Okay. So you get a +1 to your roll.
which was unneeded because that makes it 7 over 2.
All right. Well, you take that one down. And then the remaining Black Math cultists take down the last zombie. There's a pile of about 15 to 20 casualties in the backyard. Looks like they basically made some holes in various fences and were like systematically just opening up the back door, making some noise, and luring out every casualty on this street. Just systematic Black Math extermination. Yeah.
I'm gonna apologize for stealing their kill.
This doesn't matter. A number's
I
a
didn't
number.
realize I thought there was some normies in trouble, but they're obviously men of virtue, and therefore I shouldn't have taken their kill from them.
No need, brother. It doesn't
Coming up.
matter. Individual glory doesn't matter. It's all about the final count on the equation. Individual variables don't matter. Only the struggle. Yeah.
Trying not to roll my eyes in the background.
So,
Happily watching them get along.
are you? So you're with a
So you-
group? Yeah. So, brother, you're with a group of takers, huh?
Yeah, we're just moving through to the enclave.
Yes.
Do you know about that?
Yes. We've set up shop there.
Excellent.
Our leader is Null 5. You should contact her there. Introduce yourself. It was a very good cleansing. We had but we did have a lot of material support from the others. So we are trying to. The plan is simple. Just start. You treat that as ground zero and spread out. So we're clearing out everything around the enclave and instead of just. So yeah, just being systematic instead of going for high kills per minute. We're trying to secure as much ground as possible. We're gonna secure these buildings so casualties can't get back in, and so when more wander in, they'll be outside and more easily spotted. If we secure the buildings, then they have nowhere to hide.
Excellent plan.
Yes, that's what we're trying. So yes, what enclave are you with, brother?
Just coming through Troutfit, but I've been moving about.
Good folk, I've heard.
Yeah, not bad.
Well,
so what's that enclave up there like? They're okay people?
They provided us support in clearing out that building. We had enough support. We had enough material support in terms of weapons and equipment and supplies that we could fight pretty much nonstop. And the Cartwright, his people had enough labor to drag the bodies out, which has always been the Black Math, we want to do the killing. We don't want to do the work of removing the bodies.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's a glory hound. So the Randians have been useful in that regard. The others have
There's
been.
Randians.
I curse. I kick the fence. God
Spit on the ground.
Well, on some of the Montagues, they kept us working. They had special stim sauce packages for us, and the McPhersons also provided us ammunition. So and additional gunmen too. They did not step away from the fight. So every group has had its own success.
So,
So
brother,
it's a conglomerate of groups.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're all bad.
just so I understand you, brother, you have to live in that enclave for the foreseeable future with the Randians as neighbors?
I mean, all that matters in the end is the equation.
Yes, of course. But until then, here, take my
Randians at
copy.
least live up
Take
to
my
the-
wait. Here's this book. I'm giving this to you because obviously you can't return it. It's called The Little Red Tome. It's written by this man called Mao. You really should read it. Here you go.
He takes it.
Be
I
careful,
will.
he might shoot you for
I
having
promise
that.
you, I will read it, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Yes. But yes, if you are on a mission to the Randians at least follow their word, at least so far. The McPhersons and the Montagues I do not trust. But I try to avoid talking. I prefer to act. But Null 5 has had to do a lot of talking lately to keep it. But it's a good base of operations. So we've been able to train a lot of new faithful and provide better logistical support. That's always been our weakness, I think.
So you mentioned a Cartwright. Is this sort of leadership person?
Stephen Cartwright Esquire. He's the leader of the Randians, the CEO of Cartwright Incorporated, the Randian group.
And is there someone who kind of keeps the different groups working together, or is it how did this come about?
You'd have to talk to Null. I don't follow such things. There's too much work to do.
Who are the Montagues?
They make drugs.
That's the people we were in.
All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But unless you want to stay and contribute more, I'm sure you have your own work to do. We're just
I
clearing
have
out the
other
rest of
work.
the street. Yes.
Read the book, brother. It's important things like the final math is important, but we need to seize the means to do the math.
I've heard of.
Stay strong.
Are you a member of the Reform Black Math? There's this deacon.
I've heard of him. He's a good man, I've heard. But no, I'm a man of the people. We need to seize the means so we can do all the math.
I see. Well, keep the faith.
Do all the math or do all the math?
Why not both?
Yeah.
Ross, before we go, is there any way I can sneak around a bit and try? And I'm not actually sneaky, but can I try to? Is there anything scavengeable at all? Like, is there a house or something to scavenge?
Yeah, the house that they just cleared out. They don't. You can make a scavenge check.
Was
there.
my casualty carrying bounty?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you make your scavenge check.
Don't crit fail.
Or crit fail. That would be really funny.
Yeah, five more casualties.
Is that?
I also made my scavenge check.
I thought we only get one.
Yeah, you only get one.
Oh, never mind. Then ignore mine.
Yeah,
Please go for bounty. We're going to need it if we're going into the Randians.
So Fix, you find 10 bounty in the house. 10 bounty worth of just 10 bounty.
Okay.
So there's somebody
Documents.
else has looks like another taker had a stash there before the house got overrun by casualties at some point. So there's like a rubber banded thing of driver's licenses. So
All right.
10 bounty. Good
Okay.
job.
Yeah.
You did it. All right. So the group you finally get to Darlington Dormitory, a massive just block, 9 stories tall, dominating the local area. On the south side of the building, there is a massive pit, clearly dug by the 2 bulldozers nearby. But there are about 20 or 30 people filling it slowly by hand with shovels. They look very poor and overworked. They look like they're slaves or indentured servants. There's a couple of people with guns overseeing them and sort of pushing them around.
Randians.
Yep. But there are other guards wandering around. There are groups coming in and out. It looks like an actual enclave. And I will be right back. I need to get some more water.
Wow, yeah, you could definitely fit 1,000 people in that size of mass grave.
Uh-huh.
I'll grab some more too.
Shit.
I'm trying to figure out what's with the statue of a man punching a shark.
I'm just thinking of the Randians with slaves. My character has anger management issue and Marxism.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
I don't know him.
We're gonna have some problems.
Well, I'm supposed to protect the innocent.
Unfortunately, I've still got a slightly Law and Order personality with Worm on a Hook, so I'm probably going to be with him a bit on this.
I mean, ultimately, yeah.
I don't know either of them.
Well, I would be fine, except my soft spot is protect the innocent. I mean, I'm not immediately going to go on kind of a murder spree, but eventually, like clearly Randians, abuse they're like real world devils or something. They make contracts just to fuck people over. I mean, it's not cool.
They honor their word, but they're very creative about what words mean.
I mean,
probably
some forms of theft are more honest.
we should
I just
probably
realized-
note down
Let's
that
introduce
they
them to
have
the
slave
concept of NFTs.
No.
We can only support so much power for food as it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna note down that this enclave does use slave labor.
Yeah, we're
that's
definitely
gonna be
noting
relevant
that.
to- yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're
I don't
gonna
think
wanna know
us
that.
5 can change anything about that, but we're in a pretty good position for 5 people to change anything about that by reporting it back.
So
For like 1,000 people, it's going to suck.
yeah. So as you approach the building, a couple of people sort of scurry up to you. They clearly are the welcoming committee, quite literally. There's 4 of them, and you quickly realize each of them is from a different quadrant. The black math welcomer is very obvious. With the tattoos and everything. There is a very nice, polite person with a slight drawl. There is another tattooed person, but a different type of tattoo that you could quite recognize as a Montague. And then there is a very hi, welcome, and you quickly identify that as the Randian. So the 4 are all sort of like try and talk over each other. It's like, welcome, come here. Well, we want to introduce you. They're each of them is vying to get you to their building to talk to them.
It's a Hydra.
It's so there are 4 buildings, each that is primarily held by a different faction, and they all want to talk to you. And it would probably be better if you all split up, so you could, because none of them want to hurt you. They want to impress you. That much is obvious. They don't want to there's no point in murdering some random group of poor takers that are just as poor as most of them. So yeah.
So it was the Randians, the Black Math.
There's Randians, there's Black Math, there's a drug cartel, and there is the McPhersons.
Bandits.
Yeah. Well, the McPherson family,
Legitimate business people.
They've disavowed any past actions you may have heard about. They're reformed.
I address the 4. Could you let us speak amongst ourselves for a second? We'll just be over there. It will be a minute.
Of course.
And then I try to get all 5 of us to walk over a little bit so that we can decide who goes where.
So one group's going to have 2 people, so let's try to make sure who needs a buddy first. And
we should I say quietly that whoever we send in to talk to the McPhersons should probably have a second person with them.
Yeah, Theta, you probably want to meet up with the Black Math people, right?
Not necessarily. I trust them perfectly, so we can send anyone there. I say I go with someone to the bandits.
well, that'd probably be me because I'm the big guy. So
Yeah, I mean, they're going to trust Comrade Theta a lot more than anyone else.
That's
Oh,
true.
that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm guessing with 4 bandits, I'll probably be one, and someone else is going to have to go with me.
I'll
So
go with you.
Theta, could I maybe convince you to go to the Black Math people because you trust them most, because you also trust them to, report accurately
Sure.
on what the others are up to?
No problem.
Okay. So, Comrade Theta is going to Black Math, it sounds like. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I'll just sort of ask for each one. So, who wants to go to the Randians?
I think that's
Whoever's
a
good
bad
at
question
talking
to
needs to
ask.
go to Randians.
I guess I'll go there because I don't think anyone else is going to.
Okay.
If no one else wants it, I'll take
I
it.
was gonna suggest Rubber go to the Randians because he has the best social skills and
That's
being
true.
able to talk. They're all about talking.
To be
mostly, the
non-committal.
Randians.
That's true. Although I will say I do have sensitivity at 1 and the lie skill at 1.
Ditto.
Okay. So Fix is going to the Randians then, or is Robert?
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's fine. I'll do that.
All right.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
be okay either way. So
Okay,
there
so
any-
let's just have Fix go to the Randians then. Just to
Okay.
keep things going. Then the Montagues, the cartel.
Big Fish and Mouse are and I am unaccounted for so far, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was gonna go with whoever went to the McPhersons since we probably want
Okay.
2 people there.
Okay, so why don't Rubber and Mouse go to the McPhersons then, and then Big Fish can go to the Montagues.
Okay.
All right.
That means that sound good? Yeah. Just
I mean, I think Big Fish is probably the person who has the most important part of that opinion.
yeah, that's true.
Let's just keep things going.
Yeah.
I'll agree.
Okay.
All right, good.
Yeah. I mean, trust me, you'll be able to meet up again and compare notes. So yeah, why don't we do the? Let's see here. Rubber and Mouse heading to the McPhersons first. So they're just very genteel and polite. And howdy, y'all. And oh, thank you. I hope you had your time wasn't too difficult on the road. Do you want some lemonade? And very, very polite.
Oh
very,
yes, please.
Yes. Yeah.
Very very nice of you. Thank you.
So the McPherson family wants to talk to you, and so you actually get to sit down and have some lemonade with Grandpappy, who is an older man, well dressed, very well manicured beard. The picture perfect patriarch of a large family, and there are many children and other people running around. Everything looks very nice in this windowless. Well, actually, he's in one of the rooms with windows. They've sort of converted their section so that he has a nice little drawing room to entertain visitors. I understand y'all from Troutfit, and y'all want to see what the picture is. So I'm here to explain everything to y'all, and so I'm happy to answer your questions and to entertain any proposals that you have. We are definitely in business. We are traders, of course, and we have with this new enclave, we're able to send out caravans quite far and bring back all kinds of goods. So we can even take requests. We've actually made contact with the West recently to get some leather from cattle and other products. But Mr. Rubber, is it, and Mouse? I'm sure you have a bunch of questions. What is on your tongue?
Oh, just I'm very impressed with the work. I'm wondering how you all got together to the history of the place. It's this place has always been a little scary with all of the dead people wandering
of course.
around.
Last year, we've been here as humble traders living in the shadow of this massive structure for quite some time, and it's always been a no-go because there's so many casualties. you just couldn't operate long enough to draw them out, get rid of them, repeat and rinse. But I had the idea to reach out to others and to there's a more than enough space if we could clear it all for multiple groups to work together. So I reached out to those dedicated souls, the Black Math, and of course they were on board. They wanted they may want to kill as many casualties as possible. They still need at night when they sleep. They still need a roof over their heads, so they were in. And then they started talking to people that they knew, these Montagues, and then well, I've done business before with Mr. Cartwright, and so we all put our heads together and we came up with this plan. Each of us took there's 4 groups. We could each take a fourth of the building, and we all contribute to the commons, power and water and whatnot. And it took us a couple of months, but we did it, and now we're in for business. So we're eager to. We've incurred quite a mini expense to secure this building, so now we need to start generating some income. So we're quite eager to do business with Troutfit. That's sort of the broad view. But
so this whole thing has been your brainchild.
Yes, I'm the one who came up with the idea. I think I was inspired by Providence, but it came to me in a vision. Well, a dream, my wife would say, but I think it was ordained from on high. But regardless, we needed their help, and many hands make work, light, as they would say. So,
I think this is interesting to know because, I mean, we are here from Troutfit to kind of assess, so to speak, where this enclave overall will probably go and how our relationship should shake out. I mean, what type of friendship we should have. And you seem to be then the right person to ask. Where do you see this going? Do you see it mostly as a trade enclave? Do you think you will set up? I mean, of course, every enclave has it, but do you have any plans for what types of industry you see having here, and which ones you want to outsource? And how would you see the relationship with Troutfit ideally in, say, the next 2 years develop?
Well, we're traders, so we can provide a little bit of everything and in bringing distant communities together. So that's what we're going to be doing. Now, of course, the Montagues, they may be lost souls, but they make medically necessary supplies in these desperate times. So I imagine they'll be manufacturing those and distributing them. And of course, the Randians are very good at all kinds of businesses. I don't need to tell you that. So I'm sure you could strike any kind of deal with them. So they're just jacks of all trade when it comes to business. There ain't a business they don't want a part of. They can make a bounty from it. Now the Black Math is a bit they have such faith that the people will be tithing to them and whatnot to the building support. We we own this fourth of the building, and so we don't have to pay rent or anything. So we want to also be able to provide more space to people. People can come here and work and prosper here. We have more than enough room here. We're very low capacity right now, so we want to expand. And of course, once people move here, they'll have to pay some taxes and rent and whatnot, but it'll be very reasonable, of course. So we just want to grow and do, we're the people if you want to trade and reach out. And we'll be looking into opportunities to start setting up manufacturing and production of things, but that's our specialty, is traversing these dangerous places and coming back with critically important supplies.
What do I know about Troutfit? What is their? Do they produce anything specifically
Sure.
that we could then set up a trade deal with them?
Oh yeah. And if you Troutfit does aqua farming. They have massive indoor pools that that used to be aquariums and now are trout and now are fish farms. hydroponics as well. They have gun.
Probably aquaponics then.
There's a lot of gunsmithing equipment there and supplies. So there's a lot of firearms production and bullet production. Like actually making ammo. Very important these days. Repairing guns. It was a massive, massive wildlife and outdoor goods store before their crash, and so they had a lot of experts, hunters and whatnot coming here, and yeah, so that's what Troutfit does. So yeah, guns and food, very important stuff.
So you would look to engage with Troutfit with our.
Yeah, we understand that Troutfit needs the in order to get protection from your fencemen and your guards and whatnot. We need a trading partnership deal to be recognized, so we could set up permanent business places and set up deals with your prominent merchants and whatnot. You're very choosy about who you let in, and that's fair. That's your right. So we would, of course, like that kind of deal, and in exchange, we can bring in things that you haven't been able to, like leather. Like again, we get leather all the way from Colorado, and fresh leather, not just stuff that's been sitting in a warehouse for 5 years, from cows that have been birthed and raised since the crash. They're doing it out there. I don't know how, but we can bring it in. Yeah, both of you can give me sensitivity if you want to.
Yeah, I'll roll. Give it a shot.
Well, that makes.
Okay.
I don't make it.
Okay, so Rubber, you realize, oh shit, this is what they're moving into. They're not bandits anymore. They're fencing stolen goods from distant regions. They're getting shit from far away and passing it off as legitimate trading, but they've probably set up deals with other bandit groups. Selling stolen goods gets a lot of people pissed at you, and it's a good way to get bounties put on your head. So instead, we robbed a bunch of cattle traders, cattle enclave out west. Let's just ship them east and sell them at a deep discount, and so we get some money, and then they can sell it at a slight markup. So they're basically going to be, instead of banditry outright, they're fencing stolen goods from other bandit groups across the region, maybe across the entire country. And with this, if they do business with Troutfit to legitimize it, then a whole lot of stolen goods are going to be, laundered through this.
So is it mostly leather, or do you get any other trade goods on a
Well,
regular
I mean, we just started, so leather's sort of where we started, but it's trade is very unpredictable in these times.
Of course.
So, yeah.
I make a mental note.
Okay. So, but I'll tell you what, though. There could, can I trust you, Rubber?
Why you wouldn't be able to?
Well, I'll tell you this. Some of these people, like the black math people, some of my people are very nervous about them. Well, how do you feel about the black math?
Well, it depends a little bit. They can be very different. Some of them are more difficult than others. One in our group is actually part of the black math, but they all are. They have different tenets they follow and such. I think they often appear much more monolithic from the outside, as so many religious people do. So I judge them individually, and I don't actually know much about the ones that you know. Can you tell me anything about them, actually?
They're very unstable, I'll tell you that much. At least the group here. They're very violent, they're very unstable, and to be honest, I think we'd be better off without them. I know if you're a taker, you'd be willing to make a little extra bounty for yourself to get rid of some dangerous miscreants, wouldn't you?
I make non-committal noises that can be misinterpreted as affirmation.
I'm just sitting there listening.
If you want to make a lot of extra bounty, and a lot of extra bounty, you let me know, all right?
I would have to, of course, talk with the others about this, potentially without Theta. So if I could have like a little bit of a teaser that I could give the others, that would be great.
Sure. Well, I gotta get back to work. You let me know. So, meanwhile, let's see here. We'll cut to actually, why don't we go Black Math?
For some reason, the back of my neck is itching, like someone's aiming at it.
So Null 5 is a older woman who is covered in score marks from her count, but she is planning setting up, basically looking at a map. She's planning out logistics for future operations while she talks to you. So she's not. So she has her back to you as she's looking at the map and sort of making notes to herself. It's like, yes, you're from Troutfit, a taker. I understand it. We would like at least to be allowed in so we can trade bounty for weapons.
Yeah, I see no problems with that.
Okay, good.
We'll put in a good word.
I understand you're probably here on some sort of mission to assess us. So do you have any questions for me?
So Troutfit just wants to know if you're going to make good neighbors.
We're Black Math. We make the best neighbors.
Of course, because we clear the area for everyone. It's for the common man.
I mean, look at this building. I had the idea to clear out this building and use this as an operation, but we didn't have the resources ourselves. So I made contact with these other factions in the area, and we created a plan to divvy it up, and it worked. So I can work well with others. Yes.
Do you know if the others work well with others? I think my comrades in Troutfit would mostly concerned not for the Black Math because we do the Lord's work. More wondering about the other three. They are interesting characters.
Can I trust you, Comrade Theta?
Oh, explicitly, without a doubt.
Good. Yeah, I had you checked out just make sure you were legit Black Math. There's a lot of posers these days, but you're up front. What do you think of the Randians?
I'm wondering if I'd be allowed to kill them all. I think it would actually be good for the math.
Okay. Tell me,
but I don't want to destroy your enclave either. So I'm asking, like, if they disappear overnight, would that be all right?
Well, here's the thing. We kind of, you know what? I think you and I can get along. Do you have someone in your group who's really good at persuading people?
Someone who's all right, I guess. He's not
We've
quite
identified,
but not bad.
Two of their indentured servants. They're slaves. They have the numbers on them 37 and 52. We think they deal in food preparation. There's if you're talk to your person, if you can convince them to spike their food for the Randians, I think we can deal with that problem.
Sounds perfect. I almost see the Randians are like this core problem that keep us from really like reaching the mass of the people where we could all do the math together.
Exactly. So if we take out the leadership, we can secure the slaves, and I think some of them will want to flip over, and if not, I think we'll at least have all the resources we can take for the fight.
I'll tell you what, I've because I can't promise the group, because I am the only true believer in my group, I will go along, but I will ask them if I'll put it forth as my idea, so like it won't, if worse goes to worse, they won't actually leak to you.
Yeah, because if it leaks to us, that'll be war, and everyone's going to die.
No, that's bad for the math, because we're doing good work.
Yeah,
but I'll put it forth as my idea, and we'll see where it goes.
Okay, but we have something prepared for them, so we can just flip those two. we can do that. So meanwhile, let's see here. Who's
That went
talking?
well.
Yeah. Who's talking? Who's talking to the Randians?
Neat.
All right. Fix. You head over. It's very businesslike. There's a secretary who buzzes you in, and then there's a man in a very nice business suit. And he's like, "Hi, I'm Stephen Cartwright Esquire."
I
Uh,
shake his hand.
yes.
Also, I've still got my dogs with me.
Oh, what lovely animals! Well trained, I see. He crushes your hand as hard as
Great.
in the handshake, just as hard as he possibly can. So he I'm the CEO of Cartwright Incorporated. We are a corporation operating under Randian principles, and we have had quite a success here in expanding our operations. And we would like to set up partnerships and distribution deals with other enclaves. So we let's see here. Yes, but of course, I imagine you want to know more about our operations before you invest in us. That's wise. That's appropriate. So feel free to ask any questions you want.
Yeah. So what's your 5-year plan? Do you have a prospectus? What's your
Yes.
long-term goal here?
Well, we started our long-term goal here when I came up with the idea of clearing out this enclave by partnering with other interested groups, with other stakeholders, the
Yeah.
Black Math, the McPhersons,
Oh,
and
sorry,
the Montague.
Ross.
Yeah.
Sorry, one thing I meant to tell you before this started. I have my Ubix recording the whole thing. I burned a charge for it. Go ahead.
Oh, he asked you to turn it off then.
What? So trade secret? No, I wasn't going to tell him. Trade secrets.
I'm sorry. This is confidential.
Okay, he's asking me to turn it off now.
Mm-hmm.
I turn it off.
All right. So yeah, he continues. So yeah, so I had the idea to partner with these other stakeholders. We cleared it out. We pooled our resources, and now we're ready to step forward. Now we have a labor surplus here, and so we're eager to make use of it. We started by farming and securing the building. But we can, if you need, your enclave needs to outsource work, we can take up those contracts. If you need certain building scavenged, we can bring in work parties. We can clear out bodies. We can do a lot of different work. There's a lot of people who need a lot of work, and because they got into a lot of debt and they have to pay it off. And I'm eager to make that work for you. So our 5-year plan in general is obviously, now that we have this building, is to fill it to capacity with workers, and then basically figure out. Well, we're sort of in a shifting business environment right now, so we have to be very agile to respond to current trends. So one day we may be making guns, the next day we may be trading supplies with other enclaves. Next day we may be scavenging materials from lost resources, lost buildings. It's just what opportunity strikes us that day, that hour, that minute. So we're very flexible.
Have you built an army yet? I figure that's got to be in your plan somewhere.
Well, we have a security force, of course, but we're not an army. We're a business.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can count on your support to recommend us as business partners for Troutfit.
I gotta say, I'm concerned long term. What? I feel like your ideology is growth without bounds, and I'm not sure. Yeah, but the blight itself is an example of growth without bounds. Growth without bounds isn't always a good thing.
Well, I beg to differ, but we don't have to fully agree to do business. If you need something done, we'll do it, and at a better price than anyone else in the market. So I respectfully acknowledge your opinions, but I hope that doesn't prevent us from working together and building something great. Now, if you haven't, actually, I have an opportunity for you. What do you feel about the Montagues?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's hard to say that they're not the best.
They're not the best. That's true. They're very much not the best. And I'll tell you what. If there could be a certain opportunity to help cut them out of the market. If you're interested, it would be very,
But
very profitable for you.
Steven, can I call you Steven?
Sure.
Steven, you said, but you said you're interested in the long term. So
Yes.
here, how long have you guys had this enclave? A month or three?
Sure.
And you're already looking to, let's not beat around the bush, murder some of your fellow tenants.
Oh no, not murder.
Oh
at
no
all.
no no! Of course not.
No, of course not. We're not. No, we are. They have a vulnerability in their business.
Okay. Sabotage then. You're looking to sabotage.
Sabotage is a harsh word, but if you were to hijack one of the shipments of bounty that they send to other cartels as tribute in exchange for supplies, they would be forced to flee to avoid retribution from these other cartels. So they just leave, and it would be very profitable for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not the deal maker. I'll take it back to the group and we'll. But before I go, I was curious. So you've got the black math guys here. How much do you pay them? Probably nothing.
Nothing. They're partners.
Yeah.
They have their building. They have their quadrant of the building.
Right.
And we
right.
have ours, and that's how they're paid. They are otherwise. Think of us as 4 enclaves. It just happened to be in the same building.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. How could that possibly be crowded? And then you've got
in this place, there's a lot of room for expansion. There's a lot of room for growth here. But there would be a lot more to grow if we didn't have those pesky drug dealers who would sell poison to the children in your community. Can you allow that?
Yeah, I'm just. Drugs is usually a moneymaker. How come you don't want the money around anymore?
Oh, we'll sell them, of course, but we'll sell them better and without such violence.
I see.
And we'll work with the governments when that's
Right.
Well, yeah. So, but the Montagues, man, you just got to get rid of them.
I see. It's not so much the product; it's the way they do their business.
Yes. Well, I mean, clearly, also those drugs are not as profitable. We have more profitable things like labor. Outsourcing labor is really our key.
Yeah, about that. How much do you pay? Well, what do you call them? Do you call them employees? Do you call them indentures? What do you call them?
Art workers, yes. Yeah. Well, we have paid them. They are working off to pay their debt. It's simple. So, anyways. So that was his pitch. So meanwhile, let's see who was left with the Montagues. Was that Big Fish?
That'd be Big Fish, yes.
Yep. All right. So Big Fish, you come in. It is a drug cartel. They're playing loud music. They have armed dudes, people everywhere. The faint smell of drugs are in the air. The devil's lettuce. Other things. But you're led into a very luxurious looking room, and there is a man in sunglasses, heavily tattooed in a tracksuit with a lot of gold chains. Yo, I'm Devil, because if you piss me off, you're going to hell, baby. No, I'm just kidding, man. How you doing, Big Fish?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, man. I'm so glad you guys could show up. You want anything to drink? Anything to smoke?
I think I'll try to keep my head on the job for now, but thanks for the offer.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no worries, man. Hey, your crew wants to come here to party. They're welcome. We're happy to see you, man. Look, we are what we are, but we got what people need these days, and we'll sell it to you straight up. We can make a lot of money, man. Just let them know we're not like crazy cultists, man. We're just here to fucking live and make a buck or two, you know?
Well, at Troutfit, there are certain products you make that we'll definitely use, just maybe not in the largest quantities, but some business is better than no business, right?
Look, man, don't let the people decide what they want, man. You can't be big brothering them, be their parent. You know, they're adults. Anyway, but like
except for the ones that are not adults.
Well, everyone's got to learn sometime. Ain't no kids out here, not out in the loss. But yeah, what do you got? Any questions?
Um, Actually, yeah, Drownfoot probably does not want to deal with an enclave that's going to self-destruct in, say, maybe a month. So I just want to know is how's the social dynamics of such a unique
Oh,
population going?
it's chill as hell. We stay on our side, they stay on their side. Look, and they look. I'm the one who came up with this idea in the first place. I went to the other enclaves, well, the factions. They were all basically like homeless. McPherson's those fucking hillbilly bandits, the crazy ass Randy enslavers, and Black Math is Black Math man. But they're like, yeah, we need a big building to secure ourselves, and between all four of us, we got enough, and there's plenty of room to spare. So we put we rolled their sleeves up and got to it, man. So
Do you
here
all
we
do
are.
your own resource generation? I mean, like electricity, water, or do you guys have a shared setup for that?
Oh, it's shared for the things, and it's all split quarter each way. Everyone's real particular about it. Everyone's a real pain in the ass for it, but I got people to handle that. So we got solar on the roof. We got a couple other power sources as well, biofuel. We got it. I mean, most of the power goes to get water going up here. That's the big thing. The aquifer around here actually did really well in the last couple of years. It's really recovered because ain't nobody using it, are they? So yeah, we put a lot of work into it. But now we're starting to make again. We got some labs set up here and there in the building. We're gonna try and move it out to other places so it's not stinking up our home. But it be what it be. Yeah, we're just here to do business, baby. But you're a taker, right?
Well, yes, of course.
Yeah. Let's see here. Um. Oh yeah. Well, you know who I fucking hate, really. Was fucking McPherson's. I bet you don't like him either. I bet people have been killed by those assholes. Everyone who disappears, they've been killed by those goddamn hillbillies, right?
Well, statistically speaking, probably.
Yo, look, people wised up to their tactics, and that's why they switched business models because there's no small caravans that they could hit because they don't like leaving witnesses. So they've been starving, so they were desperate for this shit. So peep this: set up a fake caravan, an easy one, too fat to ignore, but it's not. That's where you come in. They're not going to expect you. We give you extra guns, and you take them out. Cripple them, and then we can just like walk in, say that they attacked us. Black Math, the Randians, they don't even give a shit. They fucking hate them too. You make quite a bit of money. You get revenge on probably some people who've been killed by those assholes.
Well, unfortunately, I cannot speak for the group on this, so I'll have to wait to confer with them. But it's another question: if fourth of this base's population drops suddenly, how's the approach for maintenance and maintaining your security and everything else?
This building, like, there's only a couple ways in or out, man. This building is secure as hell. Like 10 people can hold this building now. Like, it's easy as hell as long as you have enough ammo. We got a lot of fucking ammo in here. You could wipe them out easy. So that's not going to be a problem to keep it secure. It's just those guys are assholes, and I fucking hate them. And they're weak. They're the weakest out of all of us right now. So
Sensitivity to see if there's another reason he would like to see them eliminated.
sure.
I probably killed some of his
I
guys
got
before.
2 under 10, so I have no goddamn idea.
Yep. Mm-hmm. You know what you know.
I know what I know, and I will keep this in mind, and I will discuss with my group. Maybe
All
get
right.
back with you, maybe not.
All right. So, yeah, all of you rendezvous outside the enclave, away from prying eyes and ears, and you trade
course.
notes, so you all know what you've heard. Yeah, anyone else who talked to an enclave leader, if you haven't made a sensitivity check, you can make a sensitivity check. Sorry.
I think we
Yeah. If you already made the check, then you can't
we
make-
did to figure out that they were stealing things far away
Yeah,
and
yeah,
bringing
yeah.
it back here.
Yeah. So yeah, if
Yeah.
you've not yet made a sensitivity check, you can.
I think everyone figured it out.
Okay.
Okay, so I made one for the Randian guy, not Steven, whatever his name was.
Okay. With what you figure out, Fix, is it's really weird that a Randian who he must be pretty vulnerable right now because he expended a lot of resources to help secure this building, to make such an aggressive play and to get outsiders he doesn't know or trust to try and go after another one. That's like what the fuck? That's weird that he would
Yeah.
be that aggressive and paranoid this quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's odd.
Okay. Well, I'll throw that out there whenever we meet up and discuss.
Yeah.
So to summarize, the McPhersons want to get rid of the Black Math. The Black Math wants to actually. Theta, are you actually sharing that what you found out too, or you said you wanted to do some deception?
I'm gonna be a man of my word and suggest to all of you that we take out those Randians because they're against the people. They're dangerous, man.
Can I roll sensitivity?
Please do, because I don't know how to lie.
I don't know. I mean, the
I'm
other
doing
three
that too.
leaders.
Okay.
The other three leaders.
Well, once again, I believe him.
I can apparently with my sensitivity, I can tell that he's kind of speaking on behalf of Null 5.
I don't say it, but yeah, I don't know how to lie.
No.
Okay.
Well, Rubber, what were you saying?
So I am the sensitivity roll would make that.
Yeah.
But every other leader, I don't think we could do something like that without the backing of the others. So I don't know about that.
Foresight. How much of a clusterfuck is things going to be when someone makes their play? Because I have a feeling this isn't going to be the only play.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make a foresight check.
Because if this somehow results in everything gets self-destructing, we failed, you know?
Yeah.
Did we? I mean, it depends.
Okay, 10 over 4.
Okay, yeah, something's fucking wrong because all four factions ask you to try and take out another faction as outsiders. Right. They are all exhibiting paranoia beyond what they should be. Like that's like for one of the factions to try suggestions, especially like Black Math, because Comrade Theta that makes more sense. But like all four factions were offering to take out another faction, like that suggests that there is something highly something is off. Now, if you want to figure out what that could be, that would probably be research or a reference based on this data.
I'd like to try research first.
We got money.
Do you think? I would like to talk with.
Yeah, but I also have upkeep 9, so let's keep some of that.
Rubber.
Money.
Yeah.
Do you think this could be some sort of test by them to see if we are trustworthy?
No, I mean yes, but
no.
We're just a bunch of screwball takers. I don't think they really care about us.
Yeah,
I have an architecture question.
I think that the Black Math person does, but not a lot, you know.
Yeah. Go on. Question.
How do they get air into all these rooms that everyone's staying in with no windows?
Well, there are outer windows, and they do have a good HVAC system that is up and running.
So it's not carbon monoxide poisoning, and they misplaced things, and then
no, I'm just wondering if there's something like if there was like central air.
Yeah, there is central.
Okay, there's central air. Okay, I have first
HVAC.
aid.
Sorry. Yeah.
I have first aid. It's not medicine, but could they all just be poisoning themselves somehow?
Well, that's what I was going to have research on it, or sort of.
You could go back. Actually, you could. With someone with a first aid kit, could do quick if they make a successful skill check. Go in there and do an air analysis quality.
I only have one in that, so I have the equipment, but I only have one in the skill.
It's okay. We all have first aid kits. Just
here.
Yeah.
We all have first aid kits. Just spend some charges or something, and it'll all be good.
That could actually be really important if like the air is destroying your brain.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's also two parts to this question. If they are, they are in that state now. I gotta say, and I'm kind of uncomfortable with the amount of slave labor they're using, and the whole
Oh,
banditry
yeah, no.
thing. I'm not sure we want to support that either. So I kind of could do without those two, to be honest.
I got
Well,
another-
okay.
Yeah, but the
Separate.
thing is,
I
if we
was
basically kill half an enclave, we're kind of.
Well, in regards to that, I mean, there's a lot of crooks in there, but
okay.
don't shit
Also,
where
I
you
should
eat.
point out
It's
that the
one of the
Montagues
first
had a
rules of being a
truckload
crook.
of guns, so if things go hot, things will go really hot.
Okay, I think there's a couple of points here. One, that if we map out who wants to kill whom, there might be a way to arrange like a quintuple. What's that thing that Caleb did? Hamlet, quintuple Hamlet. There might be a way to do that, but we can side with Black Mass, so they're not part of the Hamlet. They get to get on life. But I feel like we're missing the more important thing, which is right now maybe to try to deduce what's going on. Because what if there's something about the nature of that building that just screws up whoever goes in there?
Where we've only also talked to
I
the
agree.
leaders. We haven't talked to any of the other people.
I would like
Like,
to
so-
investigate the building.
Okay.
I'd like to research check on the building.
Okay, so you two want to investigate. Sorry, Big Fish. What did you? Who else is there to talk to? You talk to the faction leaders. I mean, but there are like hundreds of people in the area. So like, between all four buildings, so like, there's a lot of people you could
that's
potentially
true.
talk
But I
to.
was like trying to think of like, is there like some sort of thing happening that makes people bothered with other people specifically, like
Okay.
incidents in the past? Unfortunately, that sounds
You
more
mean
like research,
beyond
and I don't
the
have
building?
that.
Yeah. Okay. So Mouse, you want to do? Do you have research? Is that what you're doing?
I was gonna ask if I could like actually go into the building and just say like, "Hi, I'd like to just have a look around and like
Yeah.
investigate."
No, you've
the
all been
structure.
granted access to the building, and there are common areas between the four buildings. There's like a central hallway that cuts across the entire building, as you can look on the blueprints.
Okay.
The main building corridor. So, yeah.
I was just
Okay.
wanting to use like mechanics or foresight or maybe even like criminality to recognize anything weird that might be messing with people, or if there's just something obviously like terribly structurally wrong with
No,
how
you've
this
already-
place was built.
No, structurally it seems fine. Foresight, like, I mean, you can. What skill do you want to use then?
It's hard because I don't think I have anything engineering wise that would
Right.
be quite
So,
like that. I guess foresight would be the best that I have.
Call of
Yeah.
reference.
I
You can
could call it a reference, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have anything to call it on. I guess I can. I guess I'll borrow someone's specs later then and just pay the bounty.
Okay.
Borrow my U-Bix.
Okay. So someone
you
mark
go.
off a charge on that. Mouse.
I am.
Okay. So who are you calling? Mouse.
I'm calling Chuck. He we met on the road while we were trying to get out of the last terrible place. He's a construction worker. I just kind of want to send him some video clips of the building and the insides and maybe ask him if he sees anything weird.
Oh yeah, the Darlington project. You know, that was like an ego project from Stephen Darlington. He was like a billionaire. He donated a couple $100 million to have that thing built. He wanted to test out some theories he had about architecture and urban living. So I knew some dudes who worked on it, and they reported like
Cut
having
corners.
no. And if anything, that building's over-engineered. It's like top of the line materials, reinforced. It's actually like a really high-quality building. But the couple people I know who worked on it, I do remember them like having weird headaches. One like actually got into a bar fight, which was real weird of him. He was a real nice guy, and he killed a dude. Claimed he was, the dude had spiked his drink. I think he was in jail when the crash hit. So he's probably, Jesus, Frank's dead. Thanks for that. But no, that's not your fault. So he
Oh God, Ghost Man.
there was a whistleblower who was saying there was something shady going on with the building. God, what was her name? Lisa Whistler. If you can find, I don't know if any of that data is left on, the internet now, but if you can find the Lisa Whistler report or something, she claimed that there was something sinister about it, but I don't remember what exactly.
Well, thanks for the intel.
Mhm.
I'll get you a bounty soon. I'm in the middle of a job.
Yeah. Drinks are on you next time.
Sure.
All right. So
I'd like to do research on the Lisa Whistler thing.
sure. Go ahead and give me a research check.
Just gonna suck for fail. Is anyone better at research than a one? No? Okay.
I don't have research.
Alright. Well, guys, go to the market.
You want to will that or not?
Yeah, you want to will that? That seems like it's worth willing, if anything is.
Oh,
Flip it.
okay.
Okay.
Fine, I'll will it then.
All right. You find the Lisa Whistler report.
Woohoo.
You start reading it. Does anyone have any vaguely medical skills?
I have one first aid,
All right.
Yeah,
Give me a first
lots
aid
of us
check.
have one first aid.
Yeah.
and that's probably where my will's going to end up being, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Or,
what the heck? I accidentally printed a screenshot I made. Sorry. Like, how I actually managed to get the interface to work. Yeah, I am flipping that with a will.
Okay, so there's a lot of dense medical language, but you fortunately remember enough of your training to know. Stephen Darlington was concerned about uprisings and unrest among the lower classes, so he proposed using chemically treating buildings to decrease solidarity among the less well off. The building was treated with a very faint, undetectable by the human nose, complex cocktail of substances that give off certain odors and certain touches, essentially increase anxiety and paranoia among those who live in there long term. That was his idea as a way of weakening this. This was apparently a DARPA project, and somehow he got the university to accept it, because these were all like, it was very, very scandalous and would have been a huge scandal had the crash not happened a month later. So yeah, it kind of got lost in the shuffle, but because it wasn't widely reported, it was kind of suppressed, because it was a monstrous thing to do to people. But yeah, the building's like a big out fucking Fallout vault.
The best part is we don't have to get rid of anybody. We can just wait for it to happen.
Yeah,
I'd prefer to
I
see
really
if somebody
don't want a
knows a
civil
counter
war
agent so we
happening.
can sell it.
We should at least tell the black math folks so they can get out.
Mouse
If they'll
looks
listen to
completely
us.
devastated by this news.
Okay, everyone give me self-control check.
Like
yeah.
I want to actually volunteer for one here because she was planning on trying to engineer a takeover for Black Math and moving her sister here so she didn't have to look at this outside.
Ties go to the market, so I lose self-control.
We
Yeah,
might
it's
be
one-
able to fix
I
the
do
walls
make it.
later.
If you fail your self-control check, it's one detachment to realize this kind of fuckery happening, and also these people, especially
Also, it's amazing how
Randy.
long that lasted.
Well, it was in a sealed building for 5 years, and apparently the blight didn't weaken it. So,
So, truth be told, we could probably share it with all of them and see.
well, they can. It can
No.
be. You did make your check, so you realize it can be cleaned off. It can be removed. It's a costly and long process, but eventually you can get rid of it. But that's
So it's doable. It's not just in the wall.
It's doable, but like it would be probably ruinous to some of the less well-off factions, and they may not take it well if they've been living in there months already.
Yeah, that's the
Plus-
problem.
Yeah.
Black Math's probably not gonna be interested in even really handling that. I think they just leave.
No.
Or they might just stay.
We could sell.
She's gonna just go like,
labor
I
from
don't
trout
believe you.
fish
You're lying to
to
me.
come in
And
and-
start
Alright.
shooting.
Hold on,
Sorry.
one at a time. So, Comrade Theta, sorry, what was your point?
She's just as likely to start shooting as leaving. Like, you're all
Yeah.
lying to me. You're in on it. I'm gonna kill you all.
Okay. Rubber, did you have any points?
Well, my main concerns here are if this gets fixed, this means this would become stable. And if it's stable, that means the McPhersons are still going to fence their stolen goods from way over wherever, which is not something we want to support. And the Randians would still be running a bunch of slave labor. The Montagues, I see a use in them for the overall community. The and the Black Math, obviously. I mean, I may not be a believer like you, Theta, but I see that you're doing good. So if we fix this, I wonder a little bit if we want to use that instability. And, 2 out of 4.
Yeah, I will say this. There's no way to discreetly clean one quadrant of the building. It involves lots of, opening windows,
Yeah, I didn't believe
harsh
so.
chemical things. If you start purging one building, the others are going to be like, why the fuck are you doing that?
Why are you
Something
I meant 2 out of 4.
Why are you guys power washing the drywall?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Is there something that can temporarily counteract it?
Yeah. Sorry, what was it, Big Fish?
Is there something that can temporarily counteract it?
Not temporarily. It's just like residual.
Fair enough.
It's the things, the walls, and the things that you touch, and the air that you breathe. It's environmental. So it's going to be almost as expensive to fix it as it was just to clear the building and clean it from the blight. So yeah.
Problem is, if we choose to leave it, this anxiety and stuff's only going to get worse, and it's probably going to spill out to us because Trout fits fucking us.
Ooh, worst case, they go to war with us. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of people.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think from the
So
perspective-
it's like a gigantic grenade, but if we don't pull a pin on it or something, it just grows and becomes a larger grenade.
Yeah. Sorry, Rubber. Yeah.
Also, just to clarify, I meant 2 out of the 4 plans that were proposed to us to get rid of one of the other factions. But I think long term we have to either follow at least some of the plans and then have the contagion cleaned out, or we have to clean the contagion out. But if we do that, we would also stabilize the things that we don't want in our neighborhood.
A stable problem's better than what we're getting. That's just my opinion.
Sorry?
Yeah. So yeah. He was summarizing the options. Mouse, did you have anything else to add?
Aside from what plan I think we should take, not really. No.
Okay. What plan do you think you should take?
I believe we should help the Black Math, of course. I think that if any of those 2 factions would get along very well, as our own as Theta could probably attest, as drug dealers and the Math. So I think that we should remove the more criminal the less useful criminal elements, and perhaps figure out how to break the news to them that they may need to clean out parts of the building.
Foresight.
Long-term, I'm
we
sure
know
we
what
can-
people would be happy with removing the others, but we don't know about the other groups. So if we do say remove the Randians, how will the McPhersons and Montagues react?
We just do it at the same time.
Problem is, you have to do as many as you can at once because you don't want this to blow up because they all attack each other. There's a circle. We're looking at a circle.
I believe the plan to decapitate the Randians was to have someone spike their food, the overseers and the leaders. That would not. That there would be a time factor.
Actually, all of them have a time delay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Wait. How do the McPhersons come in and out of their place?
Same as everyone else.
Single entrance?
Well, there's 2 big doors, and then there's 3 stairwells on either side. So the main corridors or the stair. Everyone has access to 2. So each house, each quadrant has 1 stairwell that's totally on it. They have 1 stairwell that borders another of the houses, and then they have the central, the north and the south doors. So just look at the map.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah. So,
On the other hand, we could also just go home and tell our leaders everything we found out and let them formulate their own plan to
Yeah.
kick
Yeah,
whoever
That's
they
true.
want
That
out.
is
the
our
can down the
contract.
road. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, technically
If we
we
can't
fulfilled your
figure out
contract.
if we cannot figure out a good course of action, then
Mhm.
I don't really want
I
to
think-
die in a firefight full of the
Mhm.
concrete building filled with crazy people.
Yeah, no, that's not very much on the plan.
Uh,
That's
Well,
it.
that's
I think the
true.
ultimate
Well,
goal is
yeah, sorry, Robert. Yeah.
While that's true, I think this is kind of a unique situation in that they approached us, and I don't know if we report back with this, that our leaders could even do anything compared to what we could do right this instant. And I think this is a limited window of opportunity.
I have an
because,
idea.
because the leaders would have a more of a problem with deniability, whereas we could do something, and then they can just blame us. If we're okay with taking the blame for it to help the greater good, with lots of mass slaughter.
We could I think that we should figure out which faction would be the most detrimental to our own long-term interests, to take care of them and then report back, to put them in a weaker position that we could deal with, and maybe they would have a better ability to influence this place.
Okay.
Yeah, I have an idea. So we have a plan for the Randians, and it seems to be functional.
Mhm.
And then if we know or can find out if the McPherson family all tend to gather in one place, I have a large amount of anti-personnel mines.
Yeah, if you could sneak them in there, they have big family dinners. So you could get them in one big family dinner. Of course, you're all going to be taking a shitload of detachment because they're
Yeah.
family dinners.
Yeah, we're blowing up a lot of women and children.
I honestly want to just tell them. I think we need to get people smarter than us involved so that we have like excessive amounts of proof.
There's no one smarter than you guys. Like, I mean, you guys are smart as anyone here. Like, your council leaders don't know more than you. They're just better at like managing
They just have
an enclave.
more influence. Yeah.
I don't think that we need to sell them on the idea of the problem because right now they're paranoid. But if we can sell them on the fact that it's the chemical, whether we have to be honest about it necessarily, like
How?
we could make them
Yeah.
clean the walls for stupid reasons if we can come up with one.
No, you got to.
It takes a long time.
You gotta. There's a certain process to do it. Like, you can't just clean it with normal stuff. You have to like use like synthesize certain chemicals in order to neutralize it and shit like that. And like remove some of the carpeting and other sections of the walls that are too heavily treated.
Yeah, it's going to be a fucking process.
So
Everyone should also, just as a little reminder, we might also get rewards from the factions for getting rid of the respective ones.
Well,
the
okay,
Black
if
Math
I
did
can-
not offer you a reward, but the others did. All three other factions offered you rewards.
Well, yeah, but the survival of Black Math is their own reward. I feel anyway. Okay, so because I'm not a
Least
Yeah.
annoying faction.
Sorry.
well, yeah, I'm not a member of Black Math, but I understand their cause, their mission. I support it. But anyway,
not.
so as for the who should live and who should die, I'm fine with it being the survivors being Black Math and the Montagues. The Montagues,
Those are the drug dealers.
the drug dealers. Yeah, and also in the circle of death chart that Don Piano put in the chat, it works out. They don't directly hate each other, so that works out too. But if we were going to do mass slaughter, I'd say probably you want to go with the plans that the Black Math had a plan for how to take out the Randians. The Montagues had a plan for how to take out the McPhersons. So let them go with their plans. My real issue, besides the fact that this is huge humanity damage and things like that, and all of the ways that a plan with this many variables, two plans with this many variables could go wrong, is I'm concerned that we won't be able to get them on our side properly because they're still being affected by the paranoia.
Yeah, we are not really solving the problem. We're just profiting off of it. Which
Yeah.
is a very Randian thing if we want to go copy
red
them.
markets. Yeah.
Well, yeah, fair enough. I have 9 upkeep,
Well,
so
no, I don't mind the profit part. I just think like the plan will fail unless we solve the problem.
yes, I'm actually with him on this. I'm with Fix.
I fully agree, but that's more of a long-term issue that we couldn't fix it in the same time frame at all.
I know we can't actually clean the walls
They'd
per
be
se, but
clearing
I'm
out the
saying-
houses so they can
Yeah,
temporarily
the
live
only
in their
realistic
houses.
way to clean the building, just tell the faction, show them the research, show them the report, tell them what they have to do.
That's
and they've
actually what I was proposing.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, they'll do it because like they've invested this much, they can't not do it. So
They might just not believe us. Think it's a plan from some of the other ones.
They might be more likely to leave us because we worked with
well,
them
certainly if
already.
you do it now before you've taken out any of the other factions, they'll actually almost certainly believe you because
Yeah, we definitely do it first.
well, then if
Yeah.
you do that, then it's going to be a lot harder to.
And then
actually-
once they're
yes.
stabilized,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that they still will like each other. It's easier to make a deal with stable people.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, their basic nature is probably well. You can give me foresight checks, and I'll give you more information.
This is like dominoes. Part of this is you just
Yeah.
push the domino and you stand back.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
know.
make
The
my
Red needs to
foresight with
go
11
because
over
they'll
5.
Probably start selling this
Crit
stuff.
fail.
Dom thinks
Good
all
failure.
sorts of wonderful things.
I got foresight.
I'll be
yeah.
fine.
Oh, I failed.
Yeah, I got foresight.
Yeah, Rubber is just like, let's just go home, guys. I'm bored. Like this is fine.
I failed.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I
My feet
passed.
hurt.
Okay, so Big Fish. Here's what you realize. This is a powder keg, obviously. If you don't, if they stay in this building, whoever's going to be there is going to generally become unstable, and your enclave is closest, so you're going to take some of that shrapnel from that explosion. Now, if you just do nothing, they'll probably tear themselves apart first, and they'll just be minor collateral damage. If you aid one faction, that'll shift the power dynamics in ways you can't predict. So if you tell them about the thing, they'll stabilize. But if you tell them about the thing, they're going to change their habits in the very near term. So all the ambush plans are going to like just not be good anymore.
Won't work.
It won't work. Now, if you fuck over one of the factions and then tell them about the thing, some of the factions may not believe you, or they may just go out. Yeah, so your credibility will be shot because they'll know. Like even if you're totally perfect about it, it's like you show up, then one of the factions gets taken out, and then they're like, well, that's pretty simple logic. So yeah, you can either try and neutralize the entire thing, or favor one or two factions, or stabilize the whole thing and just deal.
I say stabilize the whole thing. I fought my way back into the Wasps. I'm not going to have the place I'm stuck at now get destroyed by collateral.
Yeah. So I mean, they'll eventually become stronger than Troutfit, probably. But whether or not, that's assuming. Well, it's impossible to say how they'll grow because there's a good chance even if they clean the chemicals, they'll still go to war with each other. Because
I don't want to have Randians for neighbors.
Well, there's that too.
I would prefer to do something about the Randians simply because if we give them that report, I'm imagining it has like information on the chemical.
Yeah.
They have a lab here. They could start making that shit and selling it.
No, it has to be like that chemical is like it has to be built. It's built into the building. Like it's
okay. It's like harder.
Yeah.
It's too hard for them to do that then. All right. Well,
It's
that was
like
what I was saying. I still think the Randians need to go because they're.
It's like asbestos. It's like in the walls.
All right, that's
man.
fine.
I think Randians are a future problem for a future day.
There's another
When we can
future
get someone else to pay us specifically for that once they're thinking right.
Yeah. Sorry, Robert. What were you saying?
There's another future problem for us, and
Mm-hmm.
Imagine we stabilize this enclave, and
Mm-hmm.
they thrive, and they set up all these trade routes and far trade routes. But also, the leadership is not necessarily above, subjugating people in general, which we know from the McPhersons and from the Randians, because the Randians literally are. I point over to where enslaved people are working. And the McPhersons, well, you all know their past. So if they grow, what do you think from their perspective, from their leadership perspective, Troutfit looks like? I ask you to do.
Exactly.
They don't have
They're
much
gonna take it
agriculture
over.
here, and we have the agriculture. So unless they have the manpower to control two enclaves rather than just ransack it, they would be shooting themselves in the foot so goddamn hard.
Well, I'm thinking more along the lines of tribute and subjugation.
Yeah.
That's certainly possible. It's not guaranteed, but it is a potentiality.
I think it's likely the Randians will end up on top if we just stabilize the situation with nothing done.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think
did you
we
hear?
should
Did you hear what that
stabilize
guy said?
Mm-hmm. They're looking for business opportunities. Yeah. So.
Listen, I think.
I mean, these guys managed to recreate debt in the loss.
Mhm.
Come on.
Okay, so let's just do like vote on some of the plans. Let's just vote on the simplest plan, which is tell them about the chemical. Well, let's just go home plan. I'll just ask. I'll say your name, and you can just say yes or no. Whether you let's just go home and tell the leaders and kick the can down the road. Game over. That's the end of the scenario. So big fish, yes or no on going home.
No, so it was my second
Alright.
choice.
All right, mouse, yes or no.
No.
Comrade Theta.
No.
All right, that's 3 no, so the no's have it. Next plan is tell all the factions about the chemical treatment and show them how to fix it. To stabilize, in other words, stabilize it. Big fish, do you want to stabilize it?
Yes.
Mouse, do you want to stabilize it?
Not first, but I do want to tell them.
Well, that
So,
no,
I guess it would be
that
no.
yeah, that'd be no. Comrade Theta.
Damn it.
Yep.
Damn it. I want to vote later.
Okay. Yeah. So Rubber, you haven't voted yet. So yeah. Do you know?
So
what
is this for the aspect of we
This is
tell
just-
them?
This is like final plan. Just stabilize the entire enclave. Tell all of them about the chemicals.
Nah.
Okay, that's 2 no's, 1 yes. Fix.
Okay. So briefly, I just for the record, I would have been okay. I would have been okay with the first plan also of just go home. I'm not in favor of stabilize. Here's why. The reason I'm not in favor of stabilize, I feel like that's a misnomer. I mean, it does mean stable, but you have to look at the long term. In the long term,
It stabilizes him. Yeah, that's
exactly. It means what it means is is let a threat grow when we don't have to.
Right.
So
All right,
although
all right.
I'm not in favor of slaughter.
Okay. So that's 3 no's. So you're not voting to stabilize. And you're not voting to go home. So the next
Can I then
option.
suggest something?
Sure.
We tell the we tell the McPhersons that the Randians paid us to kill them, and we tell the Randians the Montius paid us. Not the Montius, the McPhersons paid us to kill them. So we basically it's a circle of death that's in the chat, and we just cut it into 2
No.
and lied to them,
I
and then
like
just
it.
step
I had
away.
a slight variation of the tell them all plan is that we also tell the factions though that we cannot deal with a enclave that tolerates the Randians and see if we can get the other 3 to just fucking murder them on their own.
Okay.
To get their our
Okay,
juicy content.
so we can.
traffic.
Okay, if you make so basically you want to you're proposing destabilize the whole thing, and just cause it to collapse. That's the goal.
I would ride the wave. I would like to some of it to survive.
Well, that's not. You can't really. It's not really a precise thing. It's
No, I'm not a precise person.
yeah. It's like finding a grenade in a room. A grenade in the room doesn't have your name on it. It says to whom is concerned. Yeah.
It is a concrete building full of paranoid people with
that
guns.
are heavily armed. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
But you can destabilize it. So there are, now if you wanted to, so let's just vote on destabilizing it as a plan. So we'll start this time with fixed. You want to destabilize it as the group plan by taking out 1 or more of the factions. And I can give you foresight checks and tell you how to do that. But fix, yes or no?
Oh, sorry. Yes, although I don't call it destabilize. Okay. I call it fixing a future threat.
Yeah, that's fine. You can call it whatever you want, but yes or no? Rubber. Yes or no on destabilizing the Darlington Dormitory?
As far as I understand, destabilizing would mean that that the Montagues would leave and that the Black Math would also leave. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's 2 yes. Comrade Theta.
Yes, I want to kill all the Randians, and I want my will point for it.
Okay.
when I
So
do it.
that's a majority of the group. So you're voting to destabilize it, and if there's
Okay,
if there's
here we
there's
go.
collateral damage, then there's collateral damage. You can like want to favor one faction or not, but the most effective way to destabilize it is to like the black math plan is the most subtle and the easiest one to enact. So your talker Rubber can go and talk to slaves 52 and 37 and flip them to poison the food. In the meanwhile, you can either choose to take up one of their other plans to ambush one of the other factions to weaken it, so do you want to? So you're destabilizing the Randians for sure. That's the easiest thing to do.
Just one quick clarification. The plan means that we kill the actual Randians, not the people they enslaved.
Yeah. That's why you're flipping the cooks, that they'll know which dishes to poison.
Okay, I just wanted to,
Yeah, it's basically the black mass will help like kill the Randians and free the slaves because they think that the slaves will help them, or they'll be able to at least take all the Randian guns and shit. Plus, they don't like slavers either. Not
Weird.
quite in. Yeah. So, Rubber, you can do that by yourself. All you have to do is flip two people. Other people can help, but like time is a factor. If you choose to help with this plan, you're not going to be doing other plans. So, Rubber for sure has to do that because you're the group talker. Yeah. You're the best talker. So I'll just go from you left to right, basically asking which group you want to destabilize, and you can team up. And there's, even if you don't take up them on their ambushes, there's a lot of things you can do to weaken a group, because it's all going to happen. So basically, it's kind of like a heist. You're all just doing things at the same time and just watching the fireworks from a distance, hopefully, depending on how many crit failures you have. Hopefully 0. So Big Fish, do you want to help Rubber destabilize the Randians, or do you want to like destabilize another faction?
For your information, it will probably be fine.
None of my skills would help with another faction, so I'll help with the Randians.
Okay. So you're also, you can help basically. Rubber needs to have an alone time to talk to these two people to avoid. So you can distract the guards, and distract probably means actually distract, not kill. Because if there's dead guards, that will raise suspicion. So
I have deception and criminality.
Try to sell them an NFT. Sell them on the
I
concept.
don't have persuasion, so
you can lie about it. Then it's deception.
Okay.
So we'll get to that
energy
scene.
efficient NFTs.
So we'll get to that
They're
scene in a
totally
bit.
real.
Mouse, who do you want to destabilize?
I was thinking about doing the McPhersons. You had that idea with the convoy ambush, but I was considering what they need are witnesses to the convoy getting ambushed.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just like hide somewhere and film it happen?
That's not gonna. That'll hurt their reputation. But like, it's not going to hurt their physical
probably
numbers.
Wouldn't be. Okay, is that the
now? If Comrade Theta, if you teamed up with Comrade Theta, and Comrade Theta said he had a bunch of fucking anti-personnel mines, so that would be a good.
That could also work. Yeah, we should,
I
think we should do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I had bounty to spare.
Yeah. So do you want to? So how about you two want to set up on that?
Sure.
Okay. So you're
So
going
which one do you
to
want to attack?
the McPhersons. So you're going to help. Go to the Montagues and say, yes, let's do that fake caravan ambush. And
That
so
sounds rad.
Yeah. And then finally, so we have 2 and 2 so far. Fix, what do you want to do?
Well, I kind of want to help destabilize the Randians, but I'll go with whichever group thinks they need the help most.
If you got a gun, we might need it.
No, I have a bow. It's not quite that awesome.
I mean, if you can
kill
snipe
people with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bows are silent, so
Yeah. All right.
you can also
I might need to borrow your specs or someone's
Actually,
specs and record it, or maybe I could just lend me a pair.
Actually, yes. Why don't we do that ambush scene first? Because it actually fits with your technical skills. So the Montague's plan is to set up an easy caravan for the McPhersons to hit. So Comrade Theta has a bunch of anti-personnel mines. You could use your technical skills to camouflage them on the drones to basically build false compartments so that they're at head level. Yeah. So basically, you can make sure that you can optimize the mine placement, so that they blow up real good.
Okay.
Yeah. So go ahead. That you have mechanics, right?
Yeah.
All right. So give me mechanics. Camera Theta, do you have demolitions?
I think you can be set up with criminality.
Oh yeah, criminality. Okay, give me criminality then.
I also have criminality. if
I'll
you,
roll that.
okay.
I have all the wills left.
Okay.
And I flip that.
Okay. So he sets them up. Now you can conceal them, Fix.
Okay. I'm spending 3 extra on this, so I made it by a lot. So.
Okay, so these are drones, and like a golf cart kind of thing, electric vehicle. So that's how it's set up. So there's no animals, so you don't have to worry about pack animals being hurt. And let's see here, Mouse. Yeah, you can give me a criminality check to figure out other ways to optimize the ambush. Mouse.
Yeah, one sec.
All
Sorry,
right,
I was eating something.
Yeah, no worries.
I make
All right.
that.
Okay, so you've used all of the anti-personnel mines. So let's see, how many was that?
5.
Yeah,
Five.
it's like 5.
Yeah. So that's a pretty good
Jeez.
spread. Do you have any other weapons or basically you can use your criminality check to figure out positioning, or you can, if you have some other weapon you want to use, if you have grenades of some type or Molotovs or anything. What do you want to use your how do you see yourself using your skill to improve the ambush?
Just to maybe do it. Make sure we're doing it in a spot where they're going to like definitely be coming from a certain way.
Okay.
Like there's no good way out, basically.
Yeah. There's basically an alley between 2 buildings, and you realize that there's a dumpster you can roll in front of it when the ambush hits. Actually, there's dumpsters on both sides, so you can just trap them in the alley.
Yeah, kill box. That's okay.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah. And so when they get in the alley, the mines will be shooting both directions. So you can actually trigger them separately. So yeah, basically it's a fairly wide alley, but like you
It'll
can
be
block it off
fine.
with dumpsters. Yeah, so you set that up and we'll get you waiting. So while you're waiting for the ambush to go off, meanwhile, Big Fish and Rubber, you've been given the poison from the black math cultists. And you're told who to talk to, and you have to flip them to poison the leadership, the actual Randians, not the workers, obviously, not the slaves. So the problem is, first, they're in the kitchen, and the kitchen is guarded because they're slaves, and like obviously they have guards watching the slaves pretty much nonstop. So you have to get in there somehow. So you can either, if you have sensitivity, you can try and figure out ways you could lure the guards out, distract them. You could make a stealth check to sneak in, but talking to them is not going to be stealthy. You can also make sensitivity
Well, I have
check.
sensitivity.
Yeah.
As do I. But
Both of
Big
you can
Fish.
make sensitivity checks to observe the kitchen without having to sneak. Like you can.
Okay, yeah, I make that.
Okay. And you can watch also the slaves too to try and figure out what's the best
As
way
do
to
I.
approach it. Okay, so are you watching the guards or the slaves?
I was watching the guards.
Okay.
and I the others.
Okay, so Big Fish, you realize the guards are talking hurriedly or like excitedly about Bio Buddies, which is a game, alternate augmented reality game where you would go around and capture fake imaginary animals on Ubix specs and whatnot. The Iranians have set up their own
Wow.
pay-to-win version of that using a pirated copy of it. So they're excitedly playing it and talking about it. So a good deception check would be like, hey, fellow hello, fellow Randians. I also play this game. There's a really great bio buddy right over there. And you can
There's a
distract
flare
them.
chip.
Yeah, it's a flare chip. Yeah, exactly. So, and a battle toad. There's a battle toad. So that's the most obvious way. That'll give him Rubber a couple of minutes to talk to the slaves. Um,
Holy shit, it's shiny.
yeah. So if you just want to do that, now if you fail your deception check, they'll be very suspicious of you.
All right.
But
I think I'll go the deception route at least at
Give me-
first, because I do have a fallback plan.
I have a question. Big Fish
Okay.
and Rubber. So we have multiple parts of this plan. We need to flip the cooks, and we need to distract the guards.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is more critical? Which one sounds more difficult?
Well, you can't even talk to the people without getting the guards out of the way.
I'm
'Cause
not
the
going to be
guards-
very good at persuading the guards. I don't have persuasion, so that's his category.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, because I feel like the cooks would be motivated already.
Well, you made your sensitivity check. You realize that these cooks are parents, and they're talking about their kid, and their kid is not there with them. And you realize one common practice the Randians do to keep their slave labor in check is to split up families in other Randian enclaves, and so if one slave escapes, the Randians punish the family in the other enclave. So collective punishment, because they're great human beings. Basically, you need to your pitch is basically like poison them all. There will be no one to report to hurt your kid, and then the black math cultist will help you rescue your kid. So you can make that offer to them, and they'll believe it because they'll believe the black math people would be crazy enough to try that. So that's the pitch. But like, they're not going to do it without like making that. They're not just going to poison them, because if they do, their kid's going to be punished for it.
Okay. So Big Fish, which one do you feel more comfortable with?
I probably feel more comfortable with the guards.
Okay, then I will get ready and, well, be ready, and that means I also have to carry the poison, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Big Fish, you go up to the guards, talking about your Battletoad, I guess.
So I just heard about your guys' game. I've been trying it out. Do you understand what that weird shiny silver toad thing that's over there in the hallway? What the heck? It's flashing back and forth. Is that like a glitch?
Oh my god, a shiny Battletoad! Well, first roll.
Yeah.
I like how you
Yes!
to this idea.
11 over 8.
Nice.
Oh my god, a shiny Battletoad! They don't even check your Ubix to like verify it. They're so
They don't even
excited.
check that I had to have Ubix.
Yeah. Yeah, you just put them away. It's fine. So they rush over. So Rubber.
I slip into the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. There's a mother and a father there. They're both working. They look at you with very tired eyes. Yes.
Hey, I understand that. You know what? We're under a bit of time pressure. You want out of here. You worry about your kids. We have people who agree with this, namely the Black Math people. But we need to get rid of all of the Randians for that, and you're in a unique position to help us with that. And I get out I'm assuming it's like a bottle or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you could put this into the food of those who hold you, we will make sure that your kid, well, the Black Math will make sure that your kid gets out safely, and you get out at all. How does that sound to you?
All right. Well, let's see how that pitch does.
I think I'm gonna actually throw a will on that and upgrade that to a critical.
The mother just grabs it and says, "We can't. We have to take the risk." And he just nods. They're in. Yeah. It's a crazy thing, but they're pretty fucking desperate to see their kid again. So yeah. Let's
Can
see
I
here.
actually give them anything that would be I'm looking if I have anything that I can give them to make their life, or well, their day a little better.
Sure.
Just a couple of rations. Are they well fed or?
They're not starving. Like they need
Okay,
to. They
okay.
feed them, and if they starve, they can't work. That's not.
That makes sense.
that's
That makes sense.
not- you could give them a weapon if you have a spare weapon. They'd really like that.
I feel like it's better if they don't have any evidence. I will also take that. Or can they? Did they put sorry? Did they empty the bottle already?
Oh, I mean, they're working on it. Like it's you have to go. Like you.
Okay.
you-
Okay.
Yeah, if you
Then I will
wanted to
give
slip
them-
if you want to slip them one of your items, you could. But like, they
I'm gonna
believe
slip
you.
them a contact code. If
Okay.
you get the kid out and you need a place to go where there's other children or whatnot, just give me a call. And we might be able to set something up over.
All right.
I have to go.
All right.
Sorry, and
Yep.
I bumble my way out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, they believed you, and they're going to do it. And a bunch of Indians are going to die tonight. Yeah.
It's a shame. Would have been better if we could have stopped them, but
Yeah. So a bunch of Randians are bunch of the slavers are going to die. So meanwhile,
you mean all of them?
well, you don't. Well, we'll see. I mean, maybe some of them don't eat at the same time, and they're like, "Why the fuck is everyone puking and spitting up blood?"
They still might die later.
Well, yeah. Black Math is probably going to want to go roll in and finish the job.
Fucking slaves will want to finish the job.
That too. Yeah, the slaves will be very motivated to kill him to make sure that no Randian reports to the others for again that collective punishment thing.
Too bad Theta wasn't here to hand out his book.
Yep. Meanwhile, a black math cultist in the house is like, this book makes a lot of sense.
And there wasn't even like Karl Marx. It was like Mao's Little Red Book.
Mm-hmm. So, kill all landlords. All right. Yeah, I get that. So
feels like it's still relevant.
Yeah. So anyways, the two of you are waiting with a couple of gunmen from the Montagues that are all like wearing masks and in order to conceal their faces and tattoos and everything, and they're wearing gloves. And both of you don't have to make a check to be hidden. You're all just hiding on top. It's basically like between two buildings, two brick buildings. Like they're both like strip mall kind of stores. And this alley is like leads to the back parking lot and the loading docks and all that stuff. But there's some you position some dumpsters on either side. So as soon as they roll in, the McPhersons roll in, they'll be wiped out. So the McPhersons, both of you can give me awareness checks to see when you detect the McPhersons.
All right.
Or all three of you, because actually all three of you are there. So yeah,
Or-
sorry. Yeah, it's Mouse, Fix, and
Keeping our
Theta.
eyes open.
Yeah.
I'm going to flip that.
Okay. So you see them coming.
Make
They are pretty stealthy, but they are on the ground. They did not climb up to the buildings, which would have been very awkward. And there's actually a really crazy person who is actually leading the caravan. This person apparently has a grudge against the McPhersons and just doesn't care if they live or die. The Montagues are good at finding people with unusual talents. Want to be bait in an ambush against the McPhersons? Hell yeah, I do. Yeah, the ambush. So you see them, so you can react. You can basically, you're not surprised when the explosives go off. Basically, they time it well. You made all your checks, and they time it well so that the McPhersons surround the drones and cart before the explosives go off. And so I'll just roll 1d10 to see what percentage of them basically get wiped out. And not
Oh,
many,
God.
though.
Oh.
So 20% of them are wiped out. So all 3 of you, though, can make attack checks.
Yay!
Yep.
Bird will.
Uh,
Definitely surprised.
a 2 and shoot. I'm gonna put on a detachment to make it 3 and shoot,
Okay.
and I make it.
Okay. Do you have full auto on that?
I do have full auto on my pistol.
Okay.
Woohoo! I hit someone with my arrow. Yay!
All right. And Theta?
I will spend 2,
Okay.
and yep, I hit.
All right. Do you also have full auto?
Nope.
Okay. So you plink at 1 and hit 1. He goes down. So let's see your
In
mouse.
case
Do you
In case
want
it
to
matters,
Yeah.
the arrow has a tracker on it. Sorry, go on.
Okay. Yeah. Mouse, do you want to mag dump all the rest of them?
Yeah, I've got 3 refresh. I'll mag dump and reload.
Okay. So you mag dump. I'll give you. Let's see here. Another D10 percentage of them. I'm
my
gonna give it
God.
more than that. So you kill. Well, you each kill at least one of them. I'm just gonna be at 1 this time. So 1 + 1, so 3, and an additional 1 for your mag dump. So
Okay.
4. So you've killed 60% of them. I'll just 6 of them. So there's 4 left, and so now we're gonna go into combat. They know where you are. You know where they are. They take cover behind the wreckage, and they have guns. And they're I'll say they're wounded, so they don't have a full 10 hit points. They have 5. But you guys get to go first because it's based on them. So when you take a shot, they'll take a shot too.
Okay, it's just 2d10 for initiative, right? Or is it plus my speed? Right?
I'm just going like you go. You guys go. Like remember, I don't roll. It's all based.
Yeah,
on
I know.
So actually, I'll let Fix go first because he has the bow. So
Okay.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, well, you're reloading this round anyway, so you're not.
Mhm.
No, well,
Yeah.
Well, I think I have to look. I don't have to look at the reloading rules.
You can
I think
shoot
it was-
this round.
I think he meant me.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Mouse is reloading this round, so he's not doing anything.
Okay, I hit. So
Okay.
it's 10 over 2.
Okay. Let's see here. You kill that one. There's 3 left.
Yay.
So, now give me an athletics check to not be shot by one of the remaining 3.
Well, okay. Guess that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't make that one. 3 under 6, so I'll
Okay.
take damage.
It'll be hit location then an amount. Hit location
Okay.
6 for 2. So
Okay.
your arm for 2 killing and 2 stun. They're using heavier rifles.
Somehow avoided my legs. Okay.
Yep. Weirdly enough. Comrade Theta.
Spend 2, and that puts me over. Excellent. I hit 1.
Okay. Just do 10. Okay, you wing him. He has 4 hit points left. So give me athletics check.
I'm just going to take the shot and just shoot him again.
Okay. Let me roll hit damage for him first then. That is going to be hit location 8. The torso for 3 killing and 3 stun.
Ow.
Yep. Bolt hurt, weirdly enough.
Yeah, I know.
But you can take your second shot.
Yep. I spent 2 more. Oop,
Mhm.
Nope, wrong place. Let's do that. And
you
I
did.
hit him.
Yep. Go and roll. I'll roll d10. That definitely kills him. So there's 2 left.
Yay.
And Mouse, you're in full cover. I'll say one of the Montague cartel guys gets gunned down by the remaining 2 gunmen, McPherson's. So you're down to 1 cartel ablative character. Let's see here. New round. Mouse. The remaining 2 gunmen are both spread out, so you can't full auto both of them, but you can
Sure.
full auto one of them if you hit. So
Yeah, I'll just roll shoot then. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
That actually, that's 2. I miss.
all right. And make a athletics check to not be shot.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Type today.
Yeah, you really fucking dodged,
Cool.
fucking matrix that shit. So yeah.
You people wish you'd been in as many gunfights as I have.
Oh yeah, everyone make
No,
a
you don't.
self-control
You
check
really
for
don't.
trauma. You're being shot at,
Yeah, it's
and you're
pretty
killing people.
On one hand, I think I probably should have been on this job. On the other hand, I'm glad I wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
thank you.
critically fail.
Can't tell me something. Oh, there.
I don't know
Third
whether
crit-
I think it depends on how it shows up on someone else's screen, but I think I
Yeah.
got 8-1 there.
Yeah. Yeah. What? Actually.
God, that's confusing.
Yeah, they both rolled at the same time for me. And Weird was first. So I'm gonna.
Oh,
say
okay.
I think I was second.
Yeah.
But
Okay, I can just fail then.
Yeah, you just
That's
fail. So a crit failure on that self control is going to be 3 trauma. Then let's see here. That is going to be 2 trauma for a regular failure.
Okay.
And let's see here. Fix, you can make your bow shot.
okay. Didn't make that one. 8 under 10.
Okay. Yep. Misses. Give me athletic shot.
Right.
And Theta, you will not have to be. They only have 2 actions, so they can't shoot you this round. But you get
Also
shot.
missed.
Yep.
Yeah. Wait.
Ooh, shit.
Ooh.
9. That's a lot.
You're dead. No,
You're not dead. I think you're KO'd.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not
Sorry.
dead.
Yeah, you're 1 away from death.
Yeah,
Because you
so
have
bad.
9 killing and 9 stun. So the remaining 9 stun goes onto your torso. And if that fills up, you're definitely dead. But yeah, you're definitely knocked out. Unless you had a helmet, which I don't think you
Alright,
did.
I hadn't shot.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you can
I
shoot.
don't know.
I hadn't shot this round, so let's
Yep.
pick one of them.
Yeah, you actually you can shoot twice because they've already shot.
Yeah, I miss, and then I spend one of my last one. Oh, that didn't come out right.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then I hit someone.
Okay. Yeah, you hit someone. And I'll roll damage. Yeah, kill that guy. There's only 1 guy left. New round, Mouse. The last guy is trying to run away. So
Okay, yeah. I'm going to spend 2 more detachment to make sure that I get him at that's my shoot at 4, and I got 2 will, so I think I can take him out.
yeah, that sounds right.
Oh my god, I'm upgrading that. I'm re-rolling that to regular fail. Then I want to spend the other one to re-roll if that's
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, sure.
All right, I got him that time.
Okay. Actually, no, you can't spend will to re-roll unless that's.
Oh,
your
I
second
can't?
action. No. You
Oh,
can do
well,
it
that
to
could be my
flip.
second. I'll do that my second
Yeah.
action then.
Yeah. So that's your second action. That'll kill.
Okay, I was gonna spend enough bullets to kill him, even if he didn't, because I'm.
Yeah, one of you really does need to make a first aid check. On
Oh, yeah,
that.
someone-
Yeah, could I be not
Oh my God.
unconscious?
Old medic him. Do you have a first aid kit?
I don't.
I
Does
do.
he have one on him?
Unconscious people are give you their permission to use theirs. You can use mine.
Yeah.
That's what I'm just wondering. Do you have one? I'm
Yeah.
spending.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And somewhere
I'll
I'm just playing
spend-
with mine for some reason.
Spend my
I'll
charges.
spend
Go for it.
5.
Okay.
Oh, thank
All
God.
Oh yeah.
All right.
He's not dead yet.
Yeah, he's not dead. He's fine. So you
And I'll
succeed in
spend
the
the other 5 to just remove killings and make them.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have to worry about the particulars because it's basically at this point
Yeah, it's
Alright.
end of it.
you made your play, and there's a lot of violence that night at the Darlington Dormitory, as the Randians are overthrown by their slaves with assistance from the Black Math, the McPherson family. Turns very paranoid as they actually lock all their doors and prepare for a siege because they don't know what the fuck's happened because their raiding party didn't come back and they lost 10 of their best raiders. But they start taking pot shots at the other 3 quadrants, which is a real bad idea. So yeah, you can stick around, but it's gonna turn ugly. You don't know.
We should go. We can
Let's
email.
go,
them
but
the
someone
report.
needs to, someone smarter or better than us needs to basically get them that information, but make it look like they found it, so they know to clean it rather than think
That
that
might
we're
be a
lying
good
to them.
idea.
I don't
Okay.
know how to do that, but if someone's got a
We
clever way
do
of
have
making it think they
Um,
discovered the fix.
Yeah.
We do have
I
that
could try.
restaurant, incidentally.
Yeah. Sorry.
I could try to.
Sorry,
Did you
Mouse.
give me the
Can
fix
we?
the
Hey,
chemical
man,
treatment?
can we?
Yes, Mouse.
Can we like? I guess we. I could put it on someone's computer, like if I sneak into the building.
You
And
could
then
do
just
if you
find
do
it.
any of you have computer as a skill?
I don't, but
Okay.
we could just like load a file on.
You know what?
I
Hell,
think I've done that
Reference.
if you have a reference, you could have your reference do it.
Yeah, that'll work.
Ooh,
Alright.
that's a good idea.
All right. So, yeah, someone spend a bounty, and you can do that.
I have no spare bounty.
Okay.
have
We,
one.
yeah, we
I'll
do.
spend a
We
bounty.
have 10 bounty from
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
house.
but I don't know if he was sharing that. So,
Yeah.
but I will
Well-
spend it for my share, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, the remaining two factions will eventually stabilize, and but the McPhersons are going. It's going to be a lot. It's going to when you just head back to your enclave. You're not going to wait around to see how this plays out. It sounds like, unless you want to take part in the fighting. Which
No.
it sounds
No.
I
did have-
inside a building fighting sounds pretty brutal.
I was
I
gonna.
don't have the ammo for that.
I was
Yeah.
kind of tempted to ask if I could maybe take a one of the cameras off the dogs and rig it to the Ubix. That's a lot of work though. To try to have it just record and send all that to me, but
Yeah,
I wouldn't
that's
make the effort.
that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And
I'll just
also-
pretend I did it.
Yeah.
Would the liberated slaves eventually form their own faction, possibly?
No, the liberated slaves are going to be they have families to
Right, yeah.
rescue. Like some of them start helping the Black Math out of like thank you for helping us. Some of them the ones who poison them do eventually show up at Troutfit. The Black Math were good to their word and did rescue their kid, and then they show up, but that's months later. So they had a harrowing story, but yeah, most of the slaves are just wanting to get along. So they spread out. But yeah, the McPhersons eventually, just so weakened, are taken. The Montagues and Black Math just do not give a shit about them. The Montagues really hate them. And then the Montagues and Black Math take over. They each have half the building now. And with the information that was anonymously leaked on the internet, they start stabilizing. So yeah, now you have a bunch of murder cultists and drug dealers as neighbors.
In other words, murderers hopped up on drugs.
murderers
I
hopped up on
failed
drugs.
to see the problem.
Yeah.
In other
no,
words, good
Also,
neighbors.
holy shit, Fix, you okay?
yeah.
I mean, there isn't
Oh,
really
yeah.
murder if it's casualties.
Yeah. Well, they murder people too. There's if you're not Black Math people are not they tend to pick a lot of fights. They're
But
kind
isn't
of
that messing the ratio the wrong way when you team kill?
well,
Just
yeah.
Not everyone is.
What you're saying is that there's a lot of
is,
psyops for us to run to find them targets to squabble with, like
Yeah.
other Randians and so on.
Well,
I,
when
I
you're
failed
when you're
to see. I
yeah.
failed to see the problems to the point that I head back here to live here when I finish this job.
Yeah. Mouse is going to be very invested in trying to make the place like livable because she wants to move her sister over there into a place where she might actually be able to like
Mhm.
mentally recover and not have to look at the outside every day while she's doing it
Yeah,
because
are
that's
you
what
got-
she's freaked out by.
well, you either have to hook a bunk with the drug dealers or the Black Math cultists.
Well, that's a later problem.
That's a later problem.
Let's get the horrible chemicals out of the walls first.
Yeah. So keep in mind, Black Math cultists are cultists, and they are fanatical, zealous crusaders. Not crusaders, but they make their life. They are very violent people, and it is easy to piss them off, or for them to just get provoked into fights. They also have a tendency for people. Occasionally, they'll shoot someone who runs away from casualties as cowards. And if you shoot one person and the rest stay and fight the casualties, hey, that really helps the equation. Also, it's like, we need those guns more than you do. Give us all your shit because we're going to use it for good shit, for a worthy cause, not your existing or trying not to die. That's bullshit. It's all about the equation. So
All right.
they're not
This is why
without
we
their
need to
problems.
introduce them to the Reformed Church.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I feel
This-
like this is a productive problem rather than a destructive problem. We
Yeah.
can
I
try
still,
to.
I still feel
deal-
like there'd be
Yeah.
I still feel like it'd be easier to deal with than the Randians. I could be
Yeah.
wrong, but
Yeah. But
they
Rubber's
at
right.
least stand for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're it's not without their difficulties, but yeah, they're not enslaving humans, or being a crime family. So which
Also,
of course
in all fairness, we are
Yeah.
also not neighbors without our difficulties. See what we just did.
yeah, you did destabilize another.
I know what
enclave.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
That never happened.
Like a lot of people did die.
I mean, we do what the DHQS does, except we did it without the government paycheck.
Yep. So yeah, that was the dorms. I didn't want to make it like a dungeon crawl because yeah, what happens when the dungeon is cleared out and the kind of people who can clear out a dungeon move in? Guess what? They're kind of violent and dangerous people.
So of course I made a big fight man, and I ended up never doing anything with it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the game.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did. Yeah. So
How did the leadership react to our report back of what we did?
Depends on what we told them.
Oh yeah, yeah, Rubber. Give me a persuade check just to see how well you spin it how well you look like. You know how to appeal to them. You're familiar with them, so like.
I'm gonna spend some will on that.
All right, yeah. They thank you and pay you. They pay you gladly. Because if you'd failed that check, you'd be like, oh god, you caused more problems, you fucking idiots. I can't believe you would do that without telling us. It's our job to make those decisions. Yeah. But they're like, oh, you clearly took the initiative and solved the problem for us without us having to get our hands dirty. So it's all in how you spin it. So yeah, they agree with you that that was the least worst of all the options available to them. That every other option was going to be so much worse. And yeah, oh god, Randians. Oh god, the McPhersons. Oh god. Oh fuck. Shit. So,
Hey,
yeah.
good news. We solved the McPherson's problem for our enclave.
You real
as a
did.
bonus.
As long as you don't read the stories of what they find when they actually, yeah, it gets real bad in there. But
No.
yeah,
Not our problem. We don't know about it.
yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, that's it for this scenario. I hope you like it, and yeah, we'll talk to you all next time. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Do.